This is The Extra Sheep, the unofficial Age of Empires 4 podcast, hosted by me, Socerton, along with Beale, known as just Beale, and our one and only Griabara founder, Sir Nevels. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing good. Doing good.
What a beautiful day.
Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians out there. That's 2 days past now. We're recording this on Monday, the 3rd of July. Normally we record on Sundays, but we've been just so busy and we've had a lot of stuff come up. So for all the Americans out there listening, you're probably listening to this actually the day after. If anyone's listening to this on the 4th of July, stop, go outside, hang out with your family. Just do it. Don't be listening to us on the 4th unless you're working, in which case, I'm sorry, your country has done you no service.
Play this to your family.
Yeah, play this to your family as the fireworks go off. I want this to be playing. This is the... That's great. If you're not either Canadian or American, if you're not North American whatsoever, happy summer. Hope you're not, stuck at home in smoky conditions like those guys in the Midwest are. Actually, Nevels, are you did you guys get hit with a lot of that smoke? Normally, I'm on the West Coast. Yeah. Normally, I get all the smoke. So how's it been getting a taste of my medicine for once?
Oh, dude, man, I got a nice stack of N95 masks here. I go out, put on my goggles, put on my I put on the scarf. So I'm going out into it feels like, what's that one? Oh man, I forgot the name of that desert, exhausted movie. It's really popular.
There's so many of those. Dune?
There's so many.
Which one?
Dune, yeah,
so
Dune,
many.
that could work. Yeah, it looks like I'm walking out of Dune's like my front yard.
Dune, Fallout, Mad Max. I can list like a million.
Yeah, I was thinking of Mad Max. Mad Max. Yeah, every day is like living through a rendition of Mad Max. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But yeah, it was pretty rough here for a minute. Yeah, it was yeah, I've never dealt that before.
I went to college up in Idaho, and when there was a bunch of wildfires around in 2019 and 2020 and even 2021 a little bit, the wildfire, but 2019 and 2020, the wildfire smoke came in like hundreds of miles away from Northern California and that area, and just sat. In Idaho, where I was at school, it's kind of a bowl. Imagine a valley surrounded by a ring of mountains, and the smoke came in. We had a beautiful weather up until right about this time of the year, actually. It was like the 4th of July was gorgeous, and the next week that smoke just settled in. And I was a runner, and I used to run outside, but it was like I couldn't go outside anymore. I was hacking up brown crap all the time. It was terrible.
Jeez, so, yeah. Pretty much everywhere you went around here, they were handing out N95 masks because we don't really deal with it's kind of crazy all the factories and stuff Detroit's a big industrial factories everywhere, but we've never had this, at least as far as I've been alive, air quality of this level. It was air quality is measured. I even know how to read air quality. I guess the average is 70. I don't even know. That's
not even great either. Ideally, you want it to be 0.
Usually per million or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah, it was 2 to 4.
Really
I know in New York it got up to 400 one day, which is worse than the worst days in India or China. It's insane how bad that is. I think I'm sitting at any given day here on the coast. We're sitting at 20, which is basically just some pollen at most. So yeah, that's insane. Hope you guys get some rain soon.
I'm fine. It's been raining everywhere here. Yeah.
That's so backwards because I'm on the coast here in the Pacific Northwest, and we've had an incredibly dry May, a dry June, and now a pretty tomorrow is going to get up to 79 degrees on the coast. It's going to be 80 or 90 in Portland, but here on the coast, it's going to be 78 and just glorious for the 4th. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it rains 22 out of the 30 days of June where I'm at.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Are you on the coast as well, Beale?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Normally we're like that. We have 6 months of just rain, nonstop mist and rain in the wintertime, but our summers are just idyllic.
See, I'm very weird. I know I mentioned before, but I love the rain.
I do too.
I love the rain. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to somebody about I want to move out to the Pacific, Northwest. I would not mind that.
Hey, we'll take you. We'll take you in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
It's nice out here, man. I'll take you to a Mariners game. You come out here, I'll take you to a Mariners game.
Oh, dude, listen, dude. Don't even. You think it's a joke? I might be your neck of the woods at some point in time because I love that atmosphere. I love the raincoat fashion. I love just looking out, everything. I feel like the air is just breathing in. So
I will say, I've grown up in the desert a lot. I know we're getting really off topic from AoE. We'll get to AoE guys in a minute. This is just some us chatting time. I grew up in the deserts. My dad was in the military, so I grew up all over the country. I've lived in the East Coast, West Coast, Alaska. I actually really like Alaska, by the way. But
Alaska?
Yeah. I was up in Anchorage area, just north a little while. But I was born in San Diego, was raised in the high desert of California, out in like the Inland Empire area. If anyone's familiar with where that's kind of at, San Bernardino, like 29 Palms, Joshua Tree, Yucca Valley, desert, 110 degrees in the summer, dry as can be. I hated it. Hate the desert. I was in St. George, Utah, which is also like 110 degree heat, super hot desert for my first job. I was like, I'm ready to go back up to somewhere rainy and cool. And this winter, let me tell you, this winter up in Oregon was so dark. Like I'm used to having snowy winters where the snow kind of lightens everything up. But when it's just overcast and rainy for 6 months, I enjoy it. But man, I hate the heat so much. But now when it's like actually warming up again, I actually have come to enjoy and appreciate sunny days again. So you know, it's
beautiful.
It's not now I enjoy a sunny day because I rain is the normal and then sunny days are enjoyable. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I won't lie. Like after all this rain, I have been looking up like cost of living in Las Vegas suburbs.
See, you say that. See, I used to joke I had seasonal depression in the summer down in the desert because it's just so oppressively hot. But yeah, the winters, it's the payoff. You know, grass is always greener unless you're in the desert, in which case there just is no grass.
No grass.
Just scorpions and everything that wants to kill you.
Hey, Bill and Son, come down to Detroit where the weather is different every day.
Hey, I've heard that Michigan's got some nice weather. Actually, I've heard that Michigan's got some good weather.
Who you been speaking to?
I have a friend. She just was going. I think she was in Lansing.
Oh, okay.
And
Lansing,
she was saying
capital.
that the winter wasn't. She was in Idaho. She was my wife's roommate before we got married, and she was saying that after going through winters in Idaho, the winters out there weren't too bad, and that it's just kind of nice average weather. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I've been to Michigan a long time.
Very dynamic.
I like getting all the seasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get the same. You get 3 seasons in 1 month. Pretty cool.
All right, boys. Shall we get on hand to the topic that's here today?
Oh yeah.
Which is we don't really have a set topic. I normally we do a little bit where we go for AOE news. I'll be honest, guys. There's really not any news right now for Age Empires that I know of. Minus the fact that there's little banners for logging in on Canada Day and the 4th of July tomorrow. But by the time this airs, that'll already have come and gone. Is there any other news that you guys know of that you feel like we should touch on?
Probably.
Go ahead.
Me. Me. Okay. Well, probably the one thing that we could probably talk about is just the wrap up of the Africa Duos, which is like the team. I don't know, the S tier team tournament, the EGC TV. It was a real small one. It was like a partnership with like a Korean streaming service, Africa TV. And EGC TV, they did a team game for a 2v2 team game. And it was actually, believe it or not, like it was actually probably one of the best team games they've had because the way they rolled it out was different than the other team games they've done in the past, where they basically had like 16 captains. And then so the 16 captains were like obviously the top 16 players as far as ATR, which is like their average tournament rank or something. And the 16 captains picked they picked who they wanted to have on their team. So basically with that being said is that like there were no super teams. Like there were no Beastie, Marine Lord, there were no Vortex and Lucifron. Like there were no super teams because if you were a captain, obviously you couldn't pick another captain.
I like
so
that.
It was a way more balanced team game aspect. And it was only 2 weekends, I believe 2 weekends. And it was very balanced. I mean, a lot of your big hitters went out like in the first round, like 3DB and like his I think 3DB and 3D Cat were a team. They got out in the first round because it was just a way more balanced. Like Beastie or Marine Lord didn't win this one. You can talk about that. Beastie or Marine Lord did not win this one. Actually, Puppy Paw and Lash won.
Oh, fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was actually something different. Like, usually, I mean, Beastie was in the finals, Beastie and his teammate. But, how it works is like Marine Lord, for example, is top ATR player, most tournament wins. He would have the last pick, the player that have on his team. So basically how it was is like, if you were like the 16th captain ranked, you can pick the best player that's available. So as I said, the teams are a lot more balanced, so it's a lot more unpredictable. And a lot of close games that, like, Marine Lord, for example, like he almost lost. Like they almost every game went to all 5. All the games were played. Like the games are going so long, they really had to like cut some because like the games are just so balanced and they were so well rounded.
I like that. I always like when it's a balanced game like that. Some of the most fun things are those. I like every now and then I like a long grind where you just see these guys just at the top of their game. They're perfectly balanced though. And it's just like they're just prodding, looking for the right angle to get in. It's just kind of a grind. Sometimes it's really satisfying to watch. Yeah, it really was. I mean, only thing that made it kind of hard to watch is that it wasn't on Twitch. Like it was on a literal. You had to download. Like I even had a hard time watching it. Like I like to kind of keep up to date. The pro scene and stuff. So I watch it. Just in my spare time. But it was on a Korean streaming site. So like you had to download the Korean streaming site. You had to like make an account. And it was like everything in there was in Korean. And like you would even see Koreans pop up in the chat like, "What is this? What game is this?" Like they were like, "What is this?" Like they're like, "Oh, StarCraft's way better. It's way faster." Dude, I don't know about that. StarCraft. Here's the thing: is I will not diss StarCraft for what it is ever. For StarCraft for what it is as a game, excellent game. But you cannot tell me that after a decade that it is still better than Age of Empires 2. And that's maybe a hot take. And I guess the Koreans, the Koreans have owned that scene from like the get-go, so I get it. They're really
Korean StarCraft. Or
I mean, as an American, I like baseball, I like football, like American football. Those are the superior sports, right? Basketball, because we're the ones who are best at it, right? Because we're the ones who basically are, But I mean, you can't tell me that StarCraft today is the end-all, be-all RTS. Even Age of Empires 2, which I get has more viewership. I just. And we've had this debate a couple times that like which is the better game. Like they're getting kind of dated and like they're still good for what they are. Like for what they are, S tier. But it's an apples and oranges comparison though. You can't really compare them. I feel like
timeless.
They're timeless in what they do.
Timeless games.
Yeah, it's just dude, I think maybe because like I don't know why, man. I mean, like, for example, like me, I just thought that, once a game got too old, people just kind of went away. But that's not true at all. Like, dude, StarCraft 1 is still very popular.
Yeah, Brood War is
super popular.
Well, a good game
Counter-Strike hasn't changed that much from like 1.6 to go. Like, it's very minimal changes, like big graphics and physics overhauls for sure. But
that's all they ever need. Like, I mean, I think of like the best games. I mean, good gameplay has been around for a long time. I feel like if you look at like the history of gaming, I mean, obviously start with like Pong, like boop, boop, like that obviously is a long way to go from there, right? The NES, some of the new systems that kind of came out, like the Nintendo, like all those things that kind of came and built things up. PC gaming kind of really started taking off. I think around like the 2000s, around the turn of the millennium, I think is when gaming got really good, right? Like late 90s to 2005, I think is when good games started coming out, and they're timeless, right? Like the core mechanics are there. The graphics
might be a difference in age, but I'd put that like I'd say 95 to 96. Like that is when that's when the classics, like you get the tail end of the Super Nintendo, like their biggest. You got Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI coming out for the Super Nintendo. Some of the greatest JRPGs ever made.
Beale, our historian, I love it. Let's get it.
Yeah, you get the start of like the 3D era. Where
that's kind of why I was kind of pushing into the 2000s, because I think that 3D era really came into view around the 2000s. But
isometric and 2D for like the latter half of the 90s had some of the most I don't know, games that stand the test of time.
Yeah. No, for real. I mean, I'll go back and like 2D games. Like, I guess that's the kind of trick. Like certain things kind of came and have kind of come up and gone. I think 3D gaming has been kind of the gold standard and has had its kind of heyday since the early 2000s. The 2D platformers of like the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, I think of like I grew up playing like Super Mario Brothers, and playing like, dude, I just think of all these games that like just the pinnacle of good. Like if you want to go back and play like this is a throwback from my early childhood, Yoshi's Island.
That
game holds up.
Super Mario Brothers, and I was thinking Yoshi's Island was like the once again like another 95, 96 end of the Super Nintendo era.
Today.
Like, yeah, it is. amazingly well designed. And like I remember hearing like interviews with, so little story, Donkey Kong Country comes out and like they're using 3D graphics, 3D rendering to make like a 2D sprite, 2D platformer game, but they're using like these big 3D renderers to make a game. And Miyamoto was like, hey, okay, was like dissing Donkey Kong Country at first, was just like, yeah, the people will buy as long as the art style is good. The gameplay doesn't have to be good, I guess, with Donkey Kong Country, which is he's throwing shade. I mean, Donkey Kong Country is still one of the best platformers ever made, like number 2 for sure. But then he went and did the opposite. And he's like, I'm gonna look at the graphics, do crayon like baby nursery graphics with Yoshi's Island, and then just make one of the best platformers ever made.
Yeah. And it holds up. You know, it's amazing. Like, yeah. And I get that, like, in that sense, like, that's why Age of Empires 2 and StarCraft are still like considered such great games. But I mean, we're in a whole new generation of gaming now, right? I mean, I was just thinking about it. I picked up I've got more news I'll get to. Actually, I do have a couple things I realized about the podcast I'll talk about. But I picked up, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I picked up, my brother's been enticing me to this, and this is one of those games that was actually more fundamental to my RTS like journey than I realized. My dad in the early 2000s used to play this game. Do either of you guys know of Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War?
Oh yeah, 40K.
Yeah, I know like the tabletop thing and the
I
never played any of them, but I know. I mean, I've been on the internet.
My dad had the tabletop stuff. My dad had the tabletop. I'm not a huge Warhammer guy. My dad dabbled, but didn't really get super. He's got like one of those games where the aliens come in. He's got little robo marines, like space marines, like ready to go. It's pretty cool. But the RTS game that came in was on sale on Steam. I think it might be still on sale if it's the summer sale for like $3. And my dad played this game. Like, this was like my gateway to RTS. I remember standing next to him. It is Dawn of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
You know who develops that?
It's Relic. It's Relic. I know. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a Relic game. And I realized, okay, I downloaded it because I mean, $3. I mean, I was like, dude, sold. Like, I got just the nostalgia of seeing it. I've never played it. I remember being like my son's age right now. He's like a young kid now, almost 3. I remember being like 3, 4, 5, standing next to my dad's computer, like next to his like chair as he was playing on this old 2003 computer. And I remember watching him play this game, watching the little spaceships land and the little robots building the buildings and his little like space marines shooting down orcs. And I remember thinking, man, I want to play that so dang bad. And he never let me play it for whatever reason. It was like, I just never got the chance to play it. That was a dad game, you know, but I have always wanted to play it. Finally picked it up and I was like, man, I realized a lot of things. I want to talk about this game a little bit because there's some cool things that kind of give me a kind of a gateway or maybe like a portal view of like how Relic works as kind of a company. Because obviously Relic helped the development of AoE 4. Not really the owners of it at this point, but obviously that's why we have relics in the game. There's a history here. But this game plays out very similar to Company of Heroes, I discovered. I didn't realize this, but it plays like it's like a mix, but it has some very big similarities to Companies of Heroes that I noticed. Because it's a very different RTS. Because I mean, with Age of Empires, it's a lot about your economy and you're generating multiple types of resources, and you got to just keep producing units. And in this game, you really don't. You like build a squad of Marines, and you can just add more to their troop by just clicking a button on them, and they just kind of. It's more about the micro and just managing them and sending them out. Like the eco doesn't matter nearly as much. You get eco by taking over the map. The graphics are
that's how Company Heroes is, right?
Yeah, very similar to Company Heroes. And I was kind of like, this plays out very differently. It's more about what troops you have and picking what upgrades. You're upgrading your troops, not so much making an upgrade, getting upgrades in like a place and then making troops. It's you're choosing this squad's going to have this type of blaster to shoot down tanks, or they're going to have this kind of thing for anti-infantry. Very different game. But some of the things, my nitpicks about this game that I really appreciate Age of Empires 4. There is no remapping the controls.
Yeah. At all. What is it from like 2003?
Yeah. And I was like, what the heck? Back then, I had to actually hit my home button to go straight back to my little town center home. And I was like, that's horrible. That's horrid.
I'll be done.
Yeah. And like, there's no control groups at all.
Oh, how does that work?
I don't know. You just gotta click on.
StarCraft had that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe if there are, I haven't figured them out yet. But I could not get control groups or anything like that going on. just like all these weird things.
StarCraft does have control groups.
Yeah, this thing
even back then, like,
oh yeah, I was about to say, what the? How do they do all that?
Although the maximum select size, I think you could only select 16 units at once.
Oh wow,
StarCraft. Yeah.
Now this game you can have a lot more units. You just kind of have to drag a big box and just kind of send them in. Like it's so different. But there's like cover you can take, and there's different things. Like it's really interesting. And I was playing this game for the kicks and giggles, and I'm gonna keep playing it actually, and probably at least try and beat the campaign. Just because it's kind of fun to see like the Warcraft kind of, or not the Warcraft, the Warhammer stuff. It's very fun. I've heard a lot of memes before, like, it's better to die than to die for the Emperor than to live for oneself. Like hearing those little voice lines is just so funny to me.
So why do you guys think that like these games, like, games that came out when we were still in diapers are like, like having bigger impacts, have bigger player base than games that are coming out modern?
That is interesting.
Game design. It's honestly, it's timeless game design. You can pretty up a game with graphics. You can do whatever, but if the foundations of the game are solid, it's gonna carry on.
But how does gaming move forward if you just want to stick with what you know?
You throw on like a Led Zeppelin record every now and then?
No. Okay. I get you with that. The music is a great comparison too. Right. But I just feel like, okay, for example, like, all right, I was a little, and I know we're kind of freestyling here. I'm trying to keep on topic, but I was a little, I don't say toxic, but so
just say it. I am a dirtbag.
I was kind of a dirtbag. I don't know, what was it? It's like maybe a week ago. I got a comment right here. It was like 9 days ago. Okay, so I just have little disclaimer. I have nothing against Age of Empires 2 players. I have nothing against any. Like I grew up. Let me just give a backstory. I grew up a troll. I was that kid in the Call of Duty lobby.
Confess your sins, my son.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Yes, please. Excuse me. I need to confess. Okay. I was that guy at one point. I was in the lobbies. You're trash. Oh, sell your motherboard. Sell your Xbox. I was that guy. Okay. I have, of course, reformed. I have bathed myself in the water.
You're a born-again gamer.
I'm a born-again gamer. I am not the man I used to be. Okay. I used to be really bad. I'm believing. I'd be a little toxic, but. So, for example, I get a little trolling. And, I've made plenty of comments for people who play Age of Empires or any old game, StarCraft, or, I got them like how you text. I had them using a flip phone or a Motorola Razor or BlackBerry, like Sansa still use to call their women. I don't know. I say things like this being silly. But so Hera made this video, the infamous Hera. I have no problem personally, but he made a video saying, what are the problems with Age of Empires 2? He said there are major problems with Age of Empires 2. And he's going through it, and his last thing that he mentioned was, he made some good points. One thing I will comment the Age of Empires 2 players on is they're a very dedicated fan base. Their pro scene is really healthy, which their pro scene, I believe, is healthier than Age of Empires 4 because you don't hear any Age of Empires 2 players talking about Stormgate all day. Like they're very loyal. They're very loyal.
They're probably like, this game is going to be trash. They're probably
they survived. They went through hell for like decades. Yeah, they did. No support, and now they finally get support.
They're having like a renaissance.
I admire them because they went through it. That game was
they sound like Rambo. Edition. I went through it. You guys don't know what it's like out there.
They went through it. They went through the drought and they saw that they stuck with this. Now they're seeing the prosperity of it. Which is great. But, Hera basically said in this video, he's complimenting things and he thinks you're saying that are wrong are just things that are going to be wrong with a dated game like this. And he's kind of recognizing the game is dated. And one thing he says, guys, his last suggestion to fix the game was like, guys, what we got to do is just, if they just fix all these problems, maybe did this, and just repackage it as like an Age of Empires 2 Final Edition. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Turbo Ultimate.
Exactly.
Super Ultimate Platinum Edition.
Super 3000 Edition Age of Empires 2. So I
need to get the soundbite of Kylo Ren and be like, just let go. Let me see what we can do. Give me a second. I think I can do it. Let me just do this. Let me go.
Oh, let's get it. Let's get it live.
You just need to let go.
Exactly.
You're still holding on.
That's beautiful. There's nothing better. Like, and literally, so me, like, I never comment on YouTube videos, but like, I was just like, I gotta say something about this. I can't help myself. And all I said was, haha, solution to that last problem is to make it a definitive edition. I said, listen, beautiful people, it's been a fun ride, I know, but it's time to come over to where the content is not stagnant and the future of the game is still exciting.
Oh, you just got downvoted into oblivion, didn't you?
Oh, dude, I got it. It was not a fun time.
You just said, you just blasphemed against our Lord Ruler.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know what happened. I don't care. I mean, I was just bored. Maybe I just didn't have my warm milk prone to sleep.
You overplayed your hand there, Sir Nevels. You got to be subtle about it. You got to pretend you're actually one of them. And be like, guys, and you gotta like act like you came to realization. See, it's too easy to tell you're astroturfing this. You gotta be more like subtle. You gotta be like, guys, I've been thinking, I love this game, but maybe I should move on. Like you gotta like feel like you gotta like be like one of those guys who like wakes up and smells the roses. You gotta be like one of those guys.
Well, basically, I was fighting behind enemy lines by myself. I had no backup. But basically, I ended off with, don't be scared, don't believe the slander. We're very welcoming, with like a really sarcastic smiley face. And Hera actually commented.
Oh no!
Hera commented, and he wasn't toxic. He wasn't bad, but all he said was AoE 4 has way bigger problems with
like
laughing, smiling, and that's what I responded with. I said, "Please enlighten me." And he didn't respond back.
Of course not.
So
dude, all the problems with the game at launch are gone. I can't even think of any of those problems anymore. I mean, the only thing that even comes to my mind was just the ridiculous Springald meta.
I know a lot of problems.
I mean, I'm trying to think of it. I can't even remember anything else. Like the game is in such an interestingly fun
Remember
position.
Abbasid had infinite range on their spears?
Oh yeah, that was pretty
remember
funny.
when you could pull out relics and drop them into like monasteries infinitely?
Oh yeah,
that's right.
This game. No, I mean, I remember it's like seeing like the Mongol TC rush, which I didn't even go through. Mm-hmm. But like, there's a point in time the Mongols would just like scout on your face, and they could park their TC right by yours. And anything you made would just get killed by the TC. Like, it was pretty bad. Like, okay, I will admit, and I have a whole YouTube video on this. Certain Nevels YouTube, shameless plug. I have a whole YouTube video on this. I have a whole YouTube video on this. Basically, I highlighted 10 problems that were in the initial release of the game and how they're fixed now. And I also, I'm fair. I also initiate things that I wish the game, and we can, because me and Bill want to have a conversation about something, we can actually segue further on later on. But I and I issue with the game because, the game, what I believe, this is somebody coming from the outside perspective, and I'm trying to be, I know I'm going to be kind of long-winded, but I did play Age of Empires 2, when I was like 4, never touched RTS from 4 to 25. I don't know. I didn't play. I tried playing a little bit of Halo Wars. Wasn't a big fan of it. RTS wasn't really my.
It's a gateway drug. That's about it.
It's exactly. I'm a huge Halo. Was the first game I really got. I played
that on Xbox for a little bit.
Exactly.
A couple years back, and it was fun. But
yeah, exactly. And I'm a huge. This is my first full PC game I played. I'm now learning mouse and keyboard. I didn't even know mouse and keyboard for Age of Empires 4. I didn't play. I had a PC before.
That is blowing my mind.
Dude, I did not know mouse and keyboard. I'm learning how to type currently. I'm taking typing.
Oh my gosh!
I swear.
So that was like a T-Rex there. Hot takes with a keyboard like T-Rex typing, going one finger at a time.
You'll see plenty of typos with me typing things up. People call me out like, "Hey man, I think this." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and fix that." Like it's like, this is somebody coming from completely. I'm on an Age of Empires 4 podcast, and a year ago. I didn't even play RTSs. So, like, this is something, I'm a big-time newcomer. I'm coming from the outside perspective to say that.
What he's trying to say is he's unqualified to be on this podcast, and we're not sure why he's here, but he's stuck around.
We absolutely need a person that is.
Exactly.
I mean,
very unqualified.
We're all pretty new. I mean, we've all had, like I said, we've all had a kind of our journey to this game, right? We've all kind of had our experiences. I mean, I wasn't a huge AoE 2 guy. I mean, I was in diapers when it came out. I mean...
I didn't play AoE 2 the whole life.
I'll be the boomer in the group. Yeah, I loved AoE 2.
Thanks, Dad.
I remember taking a cracked version to college and like landing in like 2007.
Beale, you make me feel very young.
Those are the days.
Thank you. I feel much younger. Mr. Nevels and I are like, I was born 97, so I'm a young guy next to.
Oh yeah, dude, you're the youngest guy here, dude.
I must be. You wouldn't guess it though. I've got 2 kids. I'm like an old man in spirit. So
yeah, me and Bill like the uncles. We're like basically, yeah. Exactly. Let's get ready.
Man, I feel so much
younger. You kids weren't there for Warcraft 3.
All right, I'll bring my point. I know I've been going along, but basically all I'm saying is like, I'm saying from somebody who doesn't really, understand, like just the legacy of these games. I feel that it's very weird to me the amount of gatekeeping between, because if you ask me, I thought it was AoE 4 versus the world. I mean, AoE, as a whole versus the world. Like I thought it was like, and I'm realizing that like, oh my goodness, exactly. We have a civil war right now. We have like a civil war because like I've talked to, in our Discord, we have people from Germany, people from all over the world, and people that actually attended Red Bull Wololo, which is like the big LAN event. And it was this one that previously passed, the first one that was included with Age of Empires 4. And he was literally telling me that like people that were playing AoE 4 were getting dirty looks from like AoE 2 players. Dude, like, the AoE 2 fans look at him like, exactly. Like, and and I'm gonna take a hot take, and I'm not trying to disrespect to AoE 2, but I believe they view AoE 4, and this is true, as a threat to their super stable fan base.
Oh, totally.
Because why they don't care at all about AoE 3. It's like
AoE 3 is kind of a joke.
That's the missing like. AoE 1 went to Vietnam. Like I think there's bigger AoE 1 viewer base. Like
it's very
more than right? AoE 2 and 4 combined.
That's wild.
On like Vietnamese streaming platforms.
Yep.
AoE 1 was the like oldest son that went to Vietnam and never came back.
Oldest son is retired.
You don't know what's like out there.
The golden boy. AoE 3. We don't.
It's the redheaded stepchild.
AoE 3 is the pure redheaded stepchild.
People love it, but
to be fair, that was I played more AoE 3 than AoE 2. I remember when it came out as a kid, the campaign for that as a kid was just kind of weird. The whole Fountain of Youth thing was really weird, but super enjoyable. Like I remember doping around on that all the time. That was way fun as a kid. Not
AoE 3 players. Yeah, like I mean, you look at the people that came from the AoE 3 background, really enjoyed the game. Like, and I kind of feel like, it just didn't really kick off. But I think, like, I believe, because you look at it right now, I mean, like, AoE 4 is in its adolescence. Like, there's so much
more. Do hope they support this.
I believe like so. I've talked to so many people, and also that's another thing. It's about 20 years. I got to talk to you about that. I'm so excited for the conversation we're gonna have. But anyway, just like AoE 4 is just like we're like the little brothers trying to like get the controller. Like we're like, and AoE 2 is like no, like you, like they got they gave
you the controller without plugging it in. They gave you the controller without plugging it in, and just like, here you go.
Exactly, and I realized like that is like kind of harmful because like I think we have to realize, and I'm sounding all preachy and stuff, but I think and this is a new person to RTS. It's crazy how just like how strong the community is, and how like small it is though, and I feel like there's not enough cross promotion, like as far as at least in the Age of Empire community, like AoE 4 players don't at all, like there's nothing going on in AoE 4. They don't say, oh, we got this person's throwing a tournament, or vice versa, or AoE 2. The AoE 2 players who have the big fan base, like they are so like they're like I've never seen slander on that level, because like they will literally like still act like it's December, October 2021. Like, oh yeah, they don't even have an interface for their they don't have even like capture the capture group that when they don't have their whole interface is outdated. Like they don't realize like the game is like not the same as it was almost 2 years ago. And it's very odd to me that like it's like, are we not like, is this not like we're not all under the RTS umbrella, or are we just like it's already a small community? Why are we dividing?
Yeah,
it goes the same way. Stop talking nearest.
Yeah, like pretty much. Like
I would say
like
I think on average the Age Empires 4 player is a lot more welcoming of Age Empires 2 than vice versa.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like obviously we think our game is better, you know, for what I mean, and even then we qualify that all the time. We think our game is better, but that shouldn't detract anything from Age Empires 2 and how good it is. I mean, we can say that. I can say that.
I love both games so much, but AoE 4, the design differences between the games. I love landmarks.
Yeah,
I hate making house walls in AoE 2.
That's a big one for me. I hate the house walls. It's so breaking of the game.
Archers can miss. Like that sucks.
The conversion is weird too in that game. I played high the conversion range. It's very like, and they can converge like, can they convert siege too? It's just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know AoE 2 because like I played AoE 2 before 4 and I like for a short period of time and I enjoyed AoE 2 a lot.
Well, there's so many weird issues of it being like a weird, like, because it's a pixel game, it's got the sprites. There's so many weird, like, everything from the sound design's iconic. I like it, but the sound design in the AoE 4 is just so much more superior in every way.
That's not even a joke. I mean, I don't know how you can debate that. Like, that is just, I'm not
H2 guys probably would, is the funny thing. And I feel like, you know, we can sit here and objectively say there are some things that H2, I guess, does better than Age 4. It's hard. I'm trying to think of things.
Like, I mean, it's all subjective. Like, there are, like, maybe you like building house walls. Maybe because, I was watching some AoE 2 streams the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah, I also really love this game, too. Like, man, I wish I had the time to, you know, play some ranked AoE 2. Unfortunately,
I think the Gaia, I never say it right if it's Gaia or Jaya, but the Gaia in that game is way more interesting with like the rhinos and the ducks. Like it's pretty interesting and funny. I like that the little touches like that are kind of silly. And I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the meta is way different in AoE 2. You know, like as far as like the walls from the building, like
here's something.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. I really miss how having the high ground gave you an attack advantage.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
I think that would be fun to add back into Age 4. Genuinely. That would right now it's about what kind of units you have and where you put them, but in that game, like taking the high ground maybe it was a bit too much of a maybe I would dial that down a little bit, but having like the high ground giving you maybe like increased of range in your archers or so, like cool things like that would be easy to implement, I think, in Age 2 or Age 4. Like that, those kind of things could make it even better. Maybe in like an Age 5.
So this comes into a kind of a little segue here, but the AoE 4 modding tools are so hard to get into. Compared to other games, because you could do that. Like if the modding tools were a little easier, you could just write a little script that's like, okay, we're playing a custom game, the high ground game, and we're gonna see like how this shakes out. You know, something I want to do with Agree Bar, if AoE 4 had better modding tools, I would love to create just wacky scenarios and like different like tuning packs and stuff like that for like, I don't know, one of the weekly Griobara jousts.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Like, okay, we're doing like this map. You start, there's like 100 sheep that spawn on this map, and they all have like 50 food each.
Did somebody
or
say
something
sheep?
like that? Yeah.
That'd be cool scenarios. I like. Okay, all right. I don't want to like control. I'm not trying to be like. I really want to. What do you think? Okay. Now, as far as we see the player base of AoE 4, we see the player base of 2. What do you think would give AoE 4 that edge, like where it can get some type of surge? Because we all know that, you know, civilizations give surges to AoE 4, but like what would keep people just not playing, trying it out, and dipping out? What do you think will create a surge in a consistent player base on AoE 4? Because I believe I know.
So hard to say because
easier custom maps, easier way to make custom maps. Better like.
Honestly, I think Beale, I think you're onto something with the modding. I think like there's like, so back to my Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War. One of the things I really liked about, one of the few things I think is actually superior to that game, to this game, is you can turn on how many bodies get left behind after a fight and how long they stay. And if there's blood or not. I kind of dig that. I'm not a huge guts and gore guy, but having that little option was like, oh, this is way more immersive all of a sudden. And like the bodies, I could see where the fight stayed.
I don't know if they took it out of the definitive edition of AoE 2, but they used to. Every single unit left behind a skeleton for the remainder of the game when it was built.
That's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have it. I mean, maybe like after a while that gets faded, or maybe instead like the landscape has like a little cross or like some kind of like little monument to show a huge battle took place. So like over the ages, if you age up, maybe the bones get swept away and like flowers get planted or something. Like it'd be so cool to have some kind of like visual. I mean, just like little things like that where Age of Empires excels so well at. Some of those things I feel like are missing, and AoE 2 had those things. And I think objectively that and the modding are things that Age of Empires 2 is objectively better at than Age 4. And I got to give it to on that one, you know?
I want to throw out something. You're talking about how you want to take players from AoE 2, bring them into the AoE 4 fold. And I think that's the wrong approach. You want to pick up casual players, get them into RTS, because RTS is such a hard genre. Like the skill floor is so high to begin with, that to like even be competent playing an RTS, you need to dedicate a lot of time to like how to actually play. So I think StarCraft 2 tried it, but if AoE 4, their next big update was co-op campaigns.
Oh yeah,
and like co-op PvE maps, you would.
It'd be great.
Like, and you could buy it on like a Steam sale, like a 2-for-1 deal, where you buy it and you invite a friend and you can play through co-op campaigns. I'm saying you could blow up the player base like that.
Okay, Bill. See, maybe I misspoke. I don't want to take AoE 2 players from their game because I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're not.
They do. That's good for them.
Which is cool. That's good for them.
It's a really good
like,
game. Yeah,
it is. And honestly, I kind of admire them a little bit. Well, I don't know if admire is the word, but I do admire their fan base because they don't they are in that bubble of AoE 2. Like anything else going on outside, they're not like. One thing I've criticized about our own community is that when they showed a flipping little concept art of a whole nother game that's a year out, and people are like, "Yep, AoE 4 is dead. Let's start this game now." Like they just immediately were just like they literally like when Stormgate showed anything, like I've seen some people Stormgate waiting parties, like just like all like pro players saying that, "Oh, I'm blaming Stormgate." Like it's like, well then, dude,
if that game's a disappointment,
when they had that showcase, I was streaming for that showcase, and when they showed Stormgate, for me it was just like, oh. Yeah, I remember why I like Age of Empires. This doesn't look good. Yeah, this doesn't look like what I want to play. Yeah.
So my biggest question, and I think I have a solution, but my biggest question is this: how do you get casual players to start playing? And sometimes like it's obviously a bittersweet thing. You get a bigger audience because like yes, you find games easier, more people playing the same level, but also when you get a bigger fan base and you get more toxicity and you get more complaining, you get more, everybody's gonna be happy. So, but I'm gonna, this is kind of something we've been talking about on the side, Bill, but like, I think the game should go free to play.
Like, I know. You've mentioned that.
I mentioned it.
Where's the monetization? Where
they got to make money. I mean, look at what happened to Company Heroes. Not enough downloads, not enough interest, and then Relic fires a third of their staff.
I mean, how do I know it's gonna go against the whole art in.
If you say Battle Pass, so help me.
Listen,
I will.
Listen, boys. Don't leave me, Bill. Don't leave me. Listen, boys. Listen.
Battle Pass.
I am not the biggest fan of the free-to-play monetization Battle Pass market. Like me personally, I come from the same generation you guys come from. For the most part,
this is something you say and then follow with a but
Battle Pass.
Well, listen,
no offense, sir,
boys,
but
listen, boys, the games we are in a different. I think the reason why RTS does not 100% prevail, and I'm not talking about just AoE, StarCraft, because you got to think about it. I mean, we're arguing amongst these RTS games where all of them are getting just trumped, just getting stomped out by the first person shooters, MOBAs,
The biggest RTS competition.
Oh my God, I can't believe the freaking landing Royale games. Like those games are destroying RTS. RTS doesn't even chart compared to those games.
I mean, that's a new game mode too. As of like, that's a really. I mean, maybe if you're a kid listening to this, it's not going to sound like a new game mode. But for all of us who are like in our 20s, 30s, like Battle Royale, like around, I think I remember when Fortnite came around, like 2018. That was like a whole. I mean, I'm sure the idea has been around maybe for a little longer, but that was a novel way to play a game. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No. But yeah, Battle Royale wasn't like it ain't like it just got really popular with Fortnite. Like it was before Fortnite too.
PUBG, yeah.
PUBG, and then another one. Oh my God,
DayZ mod. There was some sort of
there you go. Yep, a bunch of them. Yep. Yeah, it was another game. Yeah, which like those are like the trial games, and then Fortnite just completely. Fortnite made.
I can't believe. So as the resident boomer here, Epic was developing a sequel to Unreal Tournament. Dude. Right around the time that Fortnite got popular.
That would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
It was they're making hand over fist money. Okay, listen to this idea right here, boys. Okay. The reason why, because Battle Royale has been around for a while, but Battle Pass didn't even get. Fortnite set the standard for Battle Passes. I don't think any Battle Pass ever be as good as Fortnite. Like, if people want to put money, I mean, my little brother will literally.
Their ability to collaborate is just insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. I believe because it's still in beta, so they can like. I think Fortnite is still technically in beta.
It's been like 8 years.
Yeah, I know, but they had that power. That's how you get some good collaboration. It's something business marketing. I'm not going to talk on it because I'm not an expert. But listen, all right, this is what I mean is that RTS.
If you say Battle Pass, I swear to God.
Listen. Just give me a second. Here. Battle Pass.
Battle Pass.
Okay, listen.
Where's my hand? Where's my okay, I've got 30 seconds. I need to
all right, delete the
okay, I get it, man. Don't leave us, man. I understand if you do, though. Okay, dude, listen right here, man. Okay. I'm sorry I beat this guy. If I'm not here next week, I understand. Okay, and I'm really sad, but I understand. Listen, boys, listen. Okay, we live in a very bite-sized reality. You know what I mean? Like, our reality is, like everyone with the TikTok genre, everybody's attention span is way vastly different. And of course, me, you, Sock, like we like the rank grind. The biggest motivation in this game right now is just reaching the top, the highest rank you can reach. Not some of us don't even care about the flashy things that the monuments. We don't even care about that. We just want that conquer is what trumps everything. But that does not appease to the casual audience. People need a reason to stay. You want people to stay. You can have surges. You can have a big spike in players that just eventually, if you look at the charts, it just roller coasters down.
Are you going to suggest daily login bonuses?
No. What I suggest is that you need. For example, let's say season 6 comes out and they're like, hey, we're gonna do it to where we got 2 new series we're introducing, and we also have you don't gotta call it Battle Pass, you call it, I don't know, some medieval theme. And basically how it works is that you can either pay the money, you can pay for the Battle Pass, get the free maps, get the maps of the Battle Pass, and then boom, you're set. Or if you don't want to spend the money. Okay. You could just grind your way up to new free civs, and obviously everything with the game is going to be cosmetic, which I know historically accuracy.
Well, you just said getting the maps with the Battle Pass.
My fault. Excuse me. I didn't say maps.
Wait a minute.
Not maps. Maps are included. Civilization. Okay. Excuse me. That's my brain fart.
Is there a lot behind a Battle Pass?
Sorry, brain fart. So yeah, basically you introduce the Battle Pass, maybe make it like 100 tiers like usual, or have it make it 50 tiers, whatever. At the end of it, you can get the civilizations for free if you grind it out. Because every Battle Pass has 2 tiers. There's like a silver one that like you can pay for free, and there's one that you pay for to get you like all the real cool stuff. And basically the marketing of it will be, okay, like, if you pay for the Battle Pass, you get the civilizations, and you also get you get the opportunity to unlock the real cool stuff. You get landmark variations. You get I don't know about units, because that's kind of like a little different.
It's really tricky unless it's for yourself only and not for everyone else to see.
Yeah, so I don't think units be thing, but like you can do special landmark cosmetic designs. You can do like building, like you do like your stables have different building designs. And I'll say something for them to figure out, something that just makes you want to keep playing the game for the more casual audience. If you don't want to include it in ranked play, that's fine. But like,
I guess things like being able to change like the color of the berries to something like, instead of like the raspberries, it'd be like blueberries instead, or like I guess you can do maybe some things like that.
Just some, because you guys gotta realize that look how big of a fall off it happens. Like once a new season's introduced, or even a pup, the fall off on the player base is huge. Everybody just worry about that now. And yes, new civilizations are amazing. Like the new civs are going to obviously, especially including somebody that people have wanted, Japan or Viking civilization. Of course, people are going to want to chime in and play that. But like, it's going to keep their attention. There's plenty of games a lot of games have huge takeoffs, huge spikes, and they just fall off after a while because people have no reason to still log back in. Like for us, we log in every day. I mean, we're you guys are RTS purists. You guys understand RTS. It's about the grind, getting better, learning. But a lot, like me, if I tell my little brother, hey, dude, hop on, my 19-year-old brother to hop on Rage Empire, he's like, why? And I'm like, oh, because you can hit He's like what?
It's fun.
Of course, I'm gonna say that, but
it's a rewarding game. Yeah,
of course, but like I think that RTS in general is just a hard sell.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Generation, it's a very hard sell. Like you can't. I somehow convinced my brother to play this game with me, which is insane. He's very rocky. All my friends in reality, I had one friend that I convinced to play the game. He hopped on with us. He plays in English. At first, crazy thing right here. At first, he first started this game.
Oh,
amazing.
Losing Nevels. You still there, Nevels?
Oh, am I here? Hello?
You're cutting out a little bit for me. I don't know if Beale was.
Oh, no.
I got him.
We good?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, internet's a little shaky right now. I apologize. But like, I'll make it real quick. So I got a buddy of mine. He hopped on Age of Empire. He was loving it at first. This guy plays Warzone, Call of Duty. He was loving it. He's like, he loves history. He's like, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I looked at it. I clicked over him. We're playing against bots. Clicked over him, and his base was beautiful. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. He might not know what kind of game this is. And then he got it so great. And then moments later, he got rated. They shredded everything. And he was like, I knew this wasn't the type of game he knew he was trying to play. He asked me midway through, because his kid started crying. He was like, hey, dude, how do I save this? And I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh.
Man, I interest you in Civilization 6?
Exactly. Like
a feature in Age of Empires 2 that should have been in 4.
Exactly. Yeah, true. You're right. But like, Punch make it bad, like
out of a multiplayer and 2,
which is great. Like, I mean, maybe that may come on down the line.
I don't know why that is not a feature in 4.
Yeah, there's a lot. I guess with like random matchmaking, it makes sense with like random matchmaking. But if you're like in a I don't know.
Yeah, no, a custom game, a
custom
multiplayer game.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I still have no idea why there's not even leaderboards in the game.
That's been around since before I was born. I mean, saving it. I mean, come on, that's easy.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of things this game has improved 100%. But like, I just want to know. My question is to ask you guys, like, how do you like? I mean, my way is free to play, but you guys might have a better suggestion of how do you get people to stay?
So here's I got something on this. If you, I'll go first and I'll let Beale go. I shout out to American Jeremy, my brother-in-law. I have gotten him hooked. He actually, I joked. He sent me a thing that he had a dream. He'd been playing this game a lot. I stream, and so he's been hopping in the streams, and he's like, man, this looks like a lot of fun. And he's the kind of guy who I think would just enjoy this kind of game anyways. He's been getting better. He can now beat. I think he started out like silver. He's like working his way up. He's like genuinely trying to learn and get better at the game, and I think he is improving quite a bit. He is like hooked, and he had the dream. I joked that he had the noodle dream. Like he like dreamt of RTS and was like, I dreamed about it, dude. But I sent him a gif literally of like that Kung Fu Panda, like the duck dad being like, yeah, you had the noodle dream. Like broth runs in your veins. It's like, good for you. Like you had it. You had the RTS dream. Like, and it's like really, I was thinking about it. What got him hooked? I can't get my older brother to get into. My older brother wants to play old Warhammer with me, but I can't get him into Age of Empires. He just didn't, it's just too hard for him. The skill is so high. I do have, I think there is a suggestion. I was testing it out. The new Empire Wars version of this game, kind of interesting. I tried it out, and for anyone who hasn't done it yet, I just did a quick skirmish just against a hard AI. I played as French. I made the AI Chinese because I actually had that'll be my extra sheep today. I had to match up like that, and it was awful, and I'm really upset by it. But anyways, logged in, and it was really cool because you start off and you're still in the Dark Age. It doesn't start you in H2. You still have the choice of your landmark. It already had a bunch of vills on the gold, on the wood, a bunch of houses built by my wood line. I'd love to try with every single civ and see kind of how the builds focus, but it set me up for a pretty quick. I was able to get wheelbarrow and age up within 2 minutes, which I have no idea if that's good, if that's bad. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, just doping around. But it got me kind of into the game pretty quick, and I felt like after a couple minutes, it was just Age Empires again. It didn't feel any different, but it got me going like an extra 5 minutes faster. So I don't know. And it started me with 2 scouts, which I really enjoyed. I just love the 2 scout build. So I was really happy that I had 2 to begin with. And actually, one thing that was my favorite part about this was it already had villagers in my queue for my town center.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty dope.
So maybe introducing people into that mode to start. I don't know. It feels wrong because like I feel like I enjoy it, but I already know how to play the game as it was originally designed to be played. I don't know. Maybe there's a world where that can help draw people in, but there's not exactly a ton of like.
For sure. I can't believe they haven't put more support behind Empire Wars.
I've heard like nothing about it, but yeah.
Like genuinely, like if you want faster AoE 4 games, go for that. I mean, I do like Dark Age play. I do like the scouting and the picking up the sheep or fighting off the Roos in that mini game. I do like
you still kind of have to do that though. You still kind of have to do that a little bit, I think, because the Roos. I don't know what the Roos's build is, but you're starting off in the Dark Age, and you don't quite have enough resources when you start to just age up. So there is a minute or two where you can kind of like it gives like a minute before you start aging. Or maybe I just clicked some things and didn't do it right. But I clicked up. I thought I was in feudal when I started, and I was like, oh, I'm not in feudal age yet.
It's funny because I remember when Empire Wars came out for AoE 2, and you would start in feudal because the game is not as good as AoE 4. And like landmarks are the reason why I play AoE 4. The ability to choose between landmarks as you age up, is such a good design choice. And I love how as they continue to patch, there are less obvious choices for which landmark to take. I've had fun with Abbey of Kings, honestly. In an English mirror, going Abbey of Kings is so fun because you can bully those longbows coming out of their council hall with a king immediately. But there were Empire Wars maps in AoE 2 that had like neutral markets that if you had units near, they would become your market and get passive gold income. Like they started experimenting with different sort of maps with their Empire Wars. I don't think it really took off because AoE 2 players are just like, no, we're playing random map, Arabia. Like that's how it's gonna
dry,
go.
Dude. Dry Arabia is the best thing ever. I'm like, it's dull. It's too rote.
I mean, I love Dry Arabia.
I do too, but like when
it is the like. So if you want to talk about games that people are still playing, it's the Super Smash Brother Melee Final Destination.
You know what's crazy? That's a great way to compare AoE 2 and 4. Like Melee is AoE 2
versus Ultimate,
and like Ultimate is like 4. And like but Ultimate is obviously better. But
dude, Ultimate's so much better. Melee. Here's fun story. My best friend Reese. He's not going to be listening to this podcast. I wish he would. That'd be kind of fun. He's not an AoE guy, but shout out to Reese, man. He's a cool guy. Coolest guy I know. Go back to high school, man. He was a Melee guy. I remember when Brawl was a big thing. Actually, I grew up on Brawl, but I remember when Ultimate came out, I was all in on Ultimate. And he was like, man, I never liked Brawl. I only like Melee. I'm a Melee guy. I got my like N64 still at home. Melee. I finally had him over one day. And I was like, come on, just take it. I was like, here's the thing. You don't need to use the Wii controller. We got an actual Pro controller for the Switch. Take it. You'll love it. Gave him that, and I took the Joy-Cons and said, he loved it. He's like, oh man, this moves so much faster. And I was like, I know, right? This is so much quicker because if you look at the Melee, it just feels so
Brawl
slow.
sucked.
Brawl was rough.
Brawl was pretty rough. I think Brawl's like the worst one. I think Brawl.
I grew up on Brawl,
so
I have a soft spot, but
no, I get it. I understand.
64 was my.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Was my thing.
The Ultimate is so good. Ultimate is by and far superior to any of them. It is the best. Got the best character pool. It's just way too much fun.
Got all the characters.
All the characters. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Yeah. It's got Steve from Minecraft, man.
You'll see me being extra toxic if somebody's talking about.
I haven't played that game in forever. I just wish Nintendo. This is a side gripe. I wish Nintendo had better online matchmaking and better online everything. Like that is such for how good that company is, man. That is such a huge failing of them. Like online play is garbage.
Are they a good company? I mean, they make good games.
For how good their games have been historically. I mean, they fill a niche. Right. They fill a niche. I'm not saying they're. Are they morally good? I don't know.
It's weird. It's funny. Like I have a PC, and then like instead of having a PlayStation or Xbox, because all those games eventually come to a PC.
Come to PC. Yep.
Oh, but then you need like the Nintendo console of that generation.
I know they are. Like, everyone complains about Sony exclusives, but come on, guys, Nintendo has by and large takes the cake on that.
Yeah, they're not exclusive to PC. Like I was playing through Horizon Zero Dawn. You
can't even like stream off of it easily. Like I'd love to stream some Twitch. I'd love to be streaming Tears of the Kingdom right now, but I don't have the money to buy a capture card and a whole another setup just to stream one game. Dude, Tears of the Kingdom's so good though.
So great. Oh,
all right, bring it back.
Bring it back.
We're talking about monetization.
Say that fast.
And listen, I hear you guys just saying about
Nevels just saying Battle Pass to unlock some cosmetics and then the new civs in whatever season it is.
Yeah, obviously can't do always end it off on new civs. Whatever they want to make it.
I want a good DLC for this game. I want a paid DLC that is phenomenal.
So I'm coming around to slightly on the Battle Pass idea. I'm coming around slightly. Because
my
thing was going to be no, you pay for the game, you pay for the expansions as they come out. Yeah, like $40 for the game, $10 for the expansion.
It'll be 20 for the expansion. It's 60 for the game, 20 for the expansions nowadays with inflation. But yeah.
Right. But like that's the model. Like you release an expansion like maybe once or twice a year, and that's got the new civs. No new maps. Maps go to the free. Go to whoever owns it. But then I'm thinking, wait, with a battle pass, that $10 expansion, why not make that a payable? Like, if you pay $10, you just unlock everything in the battle pass. And if you want to play free, you can earn it. But if you pay $10, like there's no reason to not have a free tract for unlocking things. I feel like the best way to go is, pay for the game, pay for the expansions. But if you don't want to pay for the expansions, there should be a way
reward by playing the game really a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll back off of the battle pass if there is an option.
If they do it right.
Not to boost a battle pass, but to just unlock everythking.
I absolve you, my son, Sir Nevels. I absolve you of all your sins.
Well, Beale,
I'm fine. I
kind of agree with that.
Battle pass and then just say $10, unlock everything. But if you don't pay it, you can earn.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Like that.
The biggest thing, honestly. So this week I've gone back and I've started playing through most of the campaigns for AoE 4.
They're good.
I've had a good time with the Roost campaign now. I didn't really like the English one. Moved into the Roost, was like, okay, the map design is getting better. But honestly, create some sort of co-op campaign and like a co-op mode where you can even have like
so easy.
So I am capitulating again, like have a free-to-play co-op mode for whatever it is, like the Ottomans or Malians, like that score, Art of War, that score game. If you could design maps that are co-op, where you try to get the highest score, But if you don't own the game, you can play the co-op mode with someone who does.
Yeah, that would get people into the game. That'd be great.
Yeah. Because that is a barrier to entry. When it comes to RTS, there are multiple barriers to entry. There's the cost, like upfront costs. Like, do you want to pay $40 on a game in a genre that you're not familiar with?
You're going to play BattleBit Remastered, or are you going to play an RTS game that costs $60?
I just bought that.
That looks really good.
It looks really fun.
Good. Yeah. To be honest.
But I hear you saying, Bill.
Do you want to pay the $40 up front to participate in a genre that is historically one of the hardest genres around?
I would agree. Barrier to entry is insane, and that's what I say.
Yeah, lower like the skill floor with some co-op modes, and then sort of feed those co-op players like, hey, do you want to play some 1v1s? Do you want to get in?
Yeah, I gave you a little hit. Do you want more?
Yeah. You want to do some like random maps?
Co-op, honestly, is also a good suggestion in general.
No, co-op campaigns. If they released a couple of co-op campaigns, thinking about this now, they get the Byzantines in. They get the Eastern Roman Empire. There was, I don't know if any of you played Perfect Dark for the N64.
Played it for
they had single player. They had co-op. They had a mode called Counter-Op. And where like Counter-Op was, you would take control of the little random enemies and try to stop your friend from completing the objectives in a level. But if they did a Byzantines versus Ottomans, like
a simulation
campaign, where that was like a free, so you can do co-op maps, or you can do this Byzantine versus Ottomans counter-op campaign, where you and your free-to-play friend can do these maps against each other.
Weird
campaign.
That reminds me of some thought. That gives me some thoughts actually to one of my favorite games ever of all time was 2005, the Star Wars Battlefront 2. And there was a mode on there where it was called the Galactic Conquest. That game mode has been missing in every game since, and it was the funnest thing because it was like a board game. You basically have all the planets, and you can build different fleets. Like you build one fleet, and then if you get credits for winning battles, you can build another fleet, and you'd go around jumping planet to planet or doing space battles if you collided with another fleet. And it was basically, they would go from like, you'd be like playing a big macro board game, then it would dive in. I'm thinking, you guys know how like Company Heroes kind of had that Italian kind of campaign?
100 Years War. If you did the 100 Years War Galactic Conquest,
I think. Here's the thought. This is like the next. I was gonna ask you guys what you would hope to see different in an Age of Empires 5, and what it would take for us to move to a new RTS game.
I don't want them to make Age of Empires 5 anything.
Not yet. Yeah, not soon. That would kill this game.
No, they've got such a good foundation here.
Yeah.
But imagine if they had a huge patch. I'm talking like a huge patch that was like kind of like with Company Heroes, how they have like that Italian campaign where it's kind of a macro game, and then you dive into the actual RTS game part of it. But imagine do that for like you said, like 100 Years War, but it was like a co-op, like a 2v2. You can play a longer game that puts you into small skirmishes, and then you go back to the big map, and you can choose where your armies go.
You could have like campaign maps where there's no production buildings. It's just your units, and you could have micro battles, and then you fall back, and like there's bigger battles where it does play like a normal AoE 4 game.
Yeah, there's so many ideas. I feel like that's probably the future of these kind of games,
it's funny because this falls back onto custom campaigns, custom maps for AoE 4.
Yeah.
Listen,
because people could make these.
I hear you guys saying, see, the thing about it is like we do want developers to put this much support into the game, but the support is never going to be that significant if the players aren't there. And you need like as much, like I said, like we, even ourselves as AoE 4 players, like one thing I was about the RTS community, it's a very gatekeepy community. Like we don't want to keep the riffraff out. And I get it. I get it. Like we're like, let's just keep what we've been doing. It's been a system we've enjoyed for so long. Why, change it now? But think about it is that AOE in general, RTS in general, is becoming dated. It's just dated. Yes, it's pure. It's gaming at its purest form at that moment. But the future is like the new up and coming gamers, young kids, and like they don't see any appeal to the game because it really doesn't appeal to them. Like there's nothing that
there are some that do. Like it's crazy. Like
there are of course
people joined Riobara, like
of course,
like young kids. Course. It's amazing to see. Like
I agree.
Also, both you and Socerton, like just seeing a stream of AoE 4. I mean, like holy crap! This game.
Oh yeah,
looks amazing.
Yeah.
You have your anomalies. Like you have your anomalies in everything. Of course, like you got we have guys on Discord who are like, in college who are enjoying this game and wherever the case might be. There's, chess, in general, like people enjoy a challenge and people enjoy, these types of games. They have a market. But if we want to get them to the point where, we really are like moving the needle, then you have to evolve in some type of way, and we live in it's a very visually stimulated gaming community we live in. Why is Fortnite so huge? Because of all the skins and all the dance moves. I'm not saying have a night, doing the gritty, but I'm just saying I'm just saying that. Listen, you're not even saying that you win a game and the knight gets off his horse. He's like, yeah, what's up? Throwing Drake on or something. It's like, no one's saying all that, but at some point in time, you have to find a way to break through because AoE is going to always have its dedicated community. Same thing with 2 or 4. But to get more eyes but the game will never really make leaps and bounds of evolution without there being motivation from developers, promoters. Like at the end of the day, everybody just sees green.
I mean, this feels kind of like a chicken egg kind of thing to me, Like, I mean, you got to have the players to enjoy the game, but you got to have a good game to get the players. Exactly. And not that Age of Empires is a bad game. I think it's a good game. I think it's actually in a healthy spot overall.
It is.
But I mean, look at like BattleBit, right? Like we mentioned that a moment ago. That game is basically Roblox / Minecraft meets like Fallujah and Battlefield.
Fallujah, yeah.
Gameplay first. It's honestly what I was saying this entire time. The gameplay is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
You can put on whatever sound design, graphics, whatever you want on top of it, but gameplay is timeless.
I mean, even Fortnite isn't like the most photorealistic, but it's just goofy and fun.
Fortnite is like fun to play.
I agree. Like it's just I said, but we have to. It has to appease the casual audience in some type of way, or this will just be a
honestly, co-op campaigns.
I think that would do
a co-op campaign with where you can load up like a cross between like Europa Universalis, one of those Paradox games where you can sort of paint the map, but every battle is like an Age of Empires battle. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of potential there. And one of the biggest things that's comforting for the AoE 4 community is you take a look at the people who were playing a year ago, like the player base numbers on Steam versus the player base numbers on Steam right now. And it's not dwindling. It's still steadily growing.
Yeah.
It's stable.
And also,
you think about what other game besides the big games that everybody knows, what niche game continues to have the same stable player base after a year?
You're right.
Like it is, because I mean, you can say, "Oh, Call of Duty," like that goes up and that whatever. But in a niche genre like RTS, how do you?
But even games like Call of Duty don't have the lifespan.
Most games lose like 90% of their initial player base after a year.
Yeah,
and AoE 4 is stabilized.
Yeah,
and
AoE
people play keep coming back.
I agree. Like one thing I would say about RTS that is like something they have over like for example FPS is that like, you know, people stick with the game for a long time. Like Call of Duty, like there's not a single Call of Duty is renewed every single year, pretty much.
Call of Duty is French fries. AOE.
It is
like RTS.
AOE4 is a
like a multiple course
nice seared New York strip with some kale and sliced potatoes on the side.
But like the best gaming experiences I've had, like when you hit that groove in AOE4,
and they hear that extra
when
sheep
you know,
go
like
off.
you're
you're right.
Producing villagers, when you're producing your military, when you're multitasking around, and everything sort of fades away, and you're singularly focused on the game. There's nothing better in gaming than that.
I agree. Listen, it's so funny how you say that. Like I compare AOE to like going to the gym. It's like, like it really is. It's like going to the gym.
You gotta like psych yourself up when you go in, you know, and then you gotta get sweaty as you go. But then that feeling afterwards on a good win.
Like
I just came out of work. I'm tired. Do I want to click rank?
Exactly. Like think about it like this right here. I mean, when you go to the gym, you know, like you want the great results. Like that's what you're working for. But it's that period in between that is trash. Like we all want to hit platinum, diamond, and conk, and like, you know, really look back on ourselves and see the progress we made every season. We're like, this is amazing. How much better I got the game. And something releases in our body that's amazing. Like we're like the endorphins. We're like, this is awesome. This is like that is the whole selling point of the game. But it's getting to that point. A lot of people just cash out before they even get. It's like going to the gym.
It's a high skill.
It's like one floor. Exactly. The moment it gets hard. Like
and that's why, you have those co-op campaigns, like PvE, like big picture galactic conquest mode.
Dude, I miss that mode so much in that game.
Bring in a player who's not used to RTS and slowly build them up. Like it's huge. The Art of War campaigns are amazing. It's
I heard. I play them.
Like there's an RTS that's putting out like, okay, here's how you do the meta build for Dark Age economy. Like practice this. This isn't a campaign. This is if you want to do 1v1 random map matches.
You know, that we were talking about like how to get more players into the game. Having better tutorials actually would be a big thing. I feel like it doesn't always.
Art of War is great. Art of War is great. If there was, and maybe this goes into Nevels Battle Pass, but come into the game, get some points for playing the co-op campaigns, get some points for doing the co-op galactic conquest, 100 Years War, get the French and English, whatever. And then it hits a point where it's like, okay, if you want the biggest boost to your battle pass, you got to start playing Art of War and 1v1 skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, all battle passes have challenges. You know, they got the ways to make it quicker by doing the challenges and stuff. And I don't think that will appease the AOE, the RTS community that heavy. Because I feel like the biggest satisfying thing. Because like, you kind of
honestly, if there was like $10-15 that you could just buy the expansion, that would hit both like newcomers and old heads. Like
old heads.
For me, it's just like, of course. The expansion came out. I will pay $20 for the expansion.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's no ifs and buts about that. You release in Japanese, you can make it $100. And I'm like, okay, you guys got me.
You can tell it's been a while since we've had the Malians and Ottomans come in, and Malians are still kind of cracked, and I kind of hope that gets fixed. They're still frustrating to play against, but the Ottomans, I think, have been such a good addition to this game, like through and through. I think that's been one. I think that Civ has been just such a breath of fresh air to really mix things up. They're just so good. Yeah. They're fun to play. They're not overpowered either, which is like they hit that sweet spot where they're a good Civ, but they're not broken. Like that's such a hard thing to do. Like you can tell it's been a while though since we've had that to come in because I think we're kind of all just thirsting for something like that.
With like new unique units for Civs, and so I tried to get into Delhi this season.
How's that going?
Josky Raiders are great, but Delhi is. And I'm going to quote Askeladd here, but he's like, it's 3 times the APM for like 1.2 times the result.
Yeah.
Like playing Delhi is.
I heard Delhi's pretty bad.
So taxing.
Taxing is the right word for it. Yeah.
And Delhi
what do you guys think of the Lapras? What do you guys think of the Lapras that's floating around out there?
The Lapras. That I mean, you know, man, Caleb
surf it back to Cerulean City.
I think like even Caleb had a comment on that last week, like something like that. Like I mean, I think the Lapras and the Cave and the Wild Man are like
I've only seen the Wild Man once. The Lapras
I've really only seen the Wild Man. Keep in mind, I've had a little side note behind the scenes. I've had internet issues with my Age of Empires. I'm playing a lot of skirmish games because I can't really play online right now. It's pretty sad. But tomorrow I'll be back. We're gonna be back and moving. But anyway, yeah. So I kind of think that's something to appease to more of the casual scene, the Lapras and the Wild Man.
I've kind of liked them. They don't feel overpowered, but they're definitely kind of fun.
They're not overpowered. They add like a different objective. We were talking about relic games in the past. Like Dawn of War is about controlling like certain points on the map to get additional resources. And you can see that in AoE 4 with the sacred sites.
And that was relic too. Yeah.
Like, yeah, we know what to do. I mean, relics were from AoE 2 and 1 as well, as things to get on the map. But the sacred sites are
great. I think great addition.
A relic thing, and they are a great addition.
I almost wish this is probably not the right idea, but I almost wish that more units could capture the sacred sites. Like, why does a monk have to be there to capture that? Like,
because the investment to make them monk.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And that's why Delhi is a hard civ to balance for. And they like took away the feudal bonus from how much gold they got from the sacred sites with the scholars. But yeah, no, it works as a great third victory condition.
I think it's really good. I got a quick question. Not a hot take, but a question. It's me trying to be predicting. Okay, now I don't know if you guys realize. Do you think that how important do you guys consider historical accuracy? Like, where do you guys draw the line at with that?
Like
10% game balance.
Game balance is always going to be king. I think for the campaigns, you can tweak things to be more historically accurate, but for skirmish and online,
playing through the campaigns, it's also wild because there's the armory building in Castle Age.
It's so
the blacksmith is only for melee defense and offense.
Yeah,
there's a separate armory building. Yeah, it's weird to play for that.
Campaign's very different.
Okay. The reason why I asked that because like I said, I keep like I'm sub to both scenes. Like, do you know they introduced like a Minecraft collaboration to AoE 2?
What?
My wife mentioned this in like one of the extra sheep things. Like, there's you can like in Minecraft you can like Wololo one of your sheep to change the color of their collar or something like that. Or it's something silly.
Yeah, it's like a collaboration. Like, I feel like
right, they're both owned from Microsoft.
Yeah. So I feel like they might want to start implementing some of their IPs into Age of Empires. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Don't make this game Fortnite.
Come on. So you say Battle Pass, and a lot of that is contingent on the fact that
you're right. That's my biggest concern.
I don't want to see your skins. I don't want to see your skins.
Okay.
Maybe something for a landmark. Maybe the whatever you have in the town center. But if there are skins for military units, there's
already so many unique units now that are all different. That'd be like, it's tough.
Okay, but see, the thing about that is if your enemy can't see your skins, then what will be the motivation to grind for them?
I mean, you get to see them, I guess.
You get to see them.
And then maybe the caster can see it. The caster who is watching the video can see it.
Sure, yeah, in caster mode.
So what if they skins are available for you to see in caster mode? So you would think that if you would accept it more if it had an option for you to turn it off.
Give people the option always. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think we should work.
And you could default opt in. That you have to go to the menu to hit opt out.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have a wider range of colors too, like more colors and stuff to pick for your civs. Obviously, when they added the extra colors, I remember it was just like red and blue, and like that was like it. Like you couldn't choose not having the color picker for some reason.
Right. Forever too.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't come back to AoE 4 until after the color picker was.
I mean that's like that was a no brainer.
It's wild to think that wasn't there at the start.
No brainer. But maybe more unique colors.
Yeah,
like, wouldn't it be kind of cool to have like
don't make me think about release date AoE 4.
Oh, release date AoE 4 is bad. Like I didn't realize how bad it was until I'm looking at it now. Because like I said, as a new RTS player, I didn't realize that stuff is bad.
I used to joke like awesome. AoE 4 made me realize how much I loved AoE 2. Like I bought AoE 4, played it for a couple of weeks, and was like, wait a minute.
I'm glad I missed the launch. I'm glad when the game launched, I didn't have the money for it, like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, and so I went for 2 for a little. I bought 2 on sale for a little while, and I'm really glad I did that, and then came over to AoE 4 after a couple months. Like most of that first season, I kind of missed. Really glad I did.
Right. I missed. Season 0 was when I played on launch.
Yeah, see, I played
broken.
In December, which no updates came out. I started playing in early December, and I never dropped it pretty much the whole time. So like, one thing I will say is that AoE 4 actually was like the biggest. Like the numbers, like when the game first came out, it had like 70,000 views on Twitch. Like the numbers were insane. Look it up now. The game peaked at like 70,000 players, concurrent players, which is insane. So the drop off was very badly, but one thing I gotta say,
I mean, it is like
all games.
Empires. It's like a PC.
It's a
standby
IP.
Oh yeah, of course.
If they're gonna release a new Age of Empires, there's so many people are gonna pick that up just off of name alone.
Exactly, and the thing about it is that like I feel like now though people still think they're still in that same phase.
Right.
Like that's another problem that's plaguing the community.
Because when I came back, it was so much better.
And it's gotten way better since then.
Yeah. It's come back in. It was like mid-season 2 when I came back.
Yeah, see, like...
And just realizing, like, we got a game going now.
Oh, yeah, new camera angle?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has changed, man. I told you, like, that's the thing I realized, like, that's where, like... So I know we kind of, like, you know, for freestyling today, we're all talking, but, like, that's what I kind of realized, like, kind of a gatekeeping thing of, like, the community. It's like... This game has a lot of potential, and we see how we have a whole discussion for hours about what the game can do differently, what can do better. Like,
honestly, they should when and if they release more civs, they should market the crap out of this game, and just kind of get the word out that the game is in a much different place. Because I think that's kind of half of it, right? Marketing so much to that, but they should.
They need to market, and that's a big problem.
I mean, it's hard. It's just like I will never forgive them for releasing this.
In
such a bad state. Because that cloud hangs over AoE 4.
But you know what's crazy though?
It's
not gamers do forgive. Like I realize RTS might be a little bit more harsh. I bet they're really stuck in the
what are the options for RTS at this point?
Yeah, they're a little they're like
StarCraft 2 or AoE 4. Yeah.
Exactly.
What
but
are you playing for
there can be only one.
Yeah. But gamers do forget because believe it or not, it's not the worst game. Let's be honest. Like
No Man's Sky, is that what you're gonna bring up?
No Man's Sky for sure, but even worse, Cyberpunk 2077. That one was
such a fiasco.
There has never been a game released. It was so bad they took it off the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I think it hit around the pandemic too, so everyone was sitting at home, and that was bad.
I bought it on 2 consoles. I was so excited for that game because this before I even heard Age of Empire. And the reason I'm bringing this point up is saying that don't give up thinking that because the game released bad and they can't turn it around. Because Cyberpunk 2077, I played it both games on PlayStation 4. This is before the 5 been released. Well, no, the 5 was out, but there wasn't on 5. There was no Cyberpunk on 5. But PS4 game was unplayable completely. PC game was, I'm sorry, PS4 completely unplayable. PC, my PC wasn't as strong as it was, but it had so many game-breaking glitches. The game was universally known for being broken. Now the game has been 100% rejuvenized. Like they came out with an anime that got more players sparked into it, and now there's a DLC coming out in September. Everyone's hyped for it. Like right. you would think this game never released completely.
Side conversation.
Yes, sir.
Age of Empires anime. What historical battle?
Oh, the Battle Agincourt. Battle Agincourt. Most definitely. Make an anime for it and name it Age of Empire, Battle Agincourt. Make it like, give it a nice battle. Boom. Hey, honestly, it's funny you say it like joking. I guarantee that would bring people in.
That would bring people in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You make a.
I'm laughing because it's true.
It literally like if Relic went in there, it was like, hey, somebody went to board meeting, was like, crazy proposal. Let's make an anime off the Battle of Agincourt. And they made it dope and actually produced behind it. It sounds great, but literally, they will get something on player base there. They got to get it more out. Like you said, Socerton.
There needs to be more casual modes in AoE4. There needs to be that. Honestly, like Socerton was saying, the Galactic Conquest, there needs to be that where you can log in with your friend,
it'd be so
and just
cool.
Play casually.
Having making it like adding PvE. That element of like a
co-op PvE is
adding some like big time like turn-based strategy to the RTS would make it so much more, because then you're flipping back and forth. You've got the macro and micro on a bigger scale. Something like that would be just like, I mean, that's like a dream. I love the idea of like taking like those Civ games where you have got like, this is my biggest problem with Civilizations, like the Civ 6 games, like for instance, I like Civilization. I just feel like the military combat in that game sucks. Like I just don't like it. I love the city building aspect of it. I hate the military combat. It's so game breaking, and the way everything gets all like anachronistic. I hate it. I can't stand it.
I mean,
not my favorite.
A good comparison too is a game called Crusader Kings. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah, I have heard of that. I have heard of that.
Crusader Kings 3 is pretty much AoE. Like, I mean, they got different time periods, but it's like almost AoE 2 and 4.
Europa Universalis.
It's just straight up diplomacy. Like there is no like. I mean, there's war, but like, there's no gameplay combat whatsoever.
Like a perfect game would have both. And I don't feel like there's really a game that exists that has it, because I want I want to be able to have like the fun diplomacy aspect of a game. And then I want, when things go south, I want to be able to control my troops and play Age of Empires. Like that's what that would be so next level to see a game like that. And I was going to kind of ask you guys, and I kind of mentioned, I wanted to touch on this a little bit more. Like what would we, I mean, this is obviously, let's say it's 5 years down the road, maybe more, maybe less, who knows? They're finally looking at making Age of Empires 5. What would we need that? What would it need to look like to be the next generation of Age of Empires?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of hit
so tough. There's so many things that go into that. Because Age of Empires, what time period are you looking at? Are we doing medieval again for 5?
I think we'll have to. I think
you have to. Maybe you can extend it a little bit into more like maybe like a 5th
wild age. Because AoE1 was like
Bronze Age,
Romans. Stone Age, Tool Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age were the 4 ages. And then AoE2 has the same ages as AoE4.
Age 3,
and then AoE3 was a lot of like musketeers and ranged attacks. As
that'd be kind of fun. I'd love to see that a bit more.
So there was a failed game called Age of Empires Online.
Oh, what time period was that?
Like 2011.
Oh yeah,
which succumbed to a lot of like free to play, because you can get bonuses like, oh, I'm gonna pay money and now my basic infantry do +3 attack.
Ugh.
And that's so wildly unbalanced.
Pay to win sucks.
Yeah.
That's rough. I mean, you gotta remember too, guys.
Age of Empires 5 could go to an Age of AoE Online, like Middle Ages sort of thing. And maybe AoE 4 transitions to that.
Kind of how 1 did to 2, because I think they kind of pretty much implemented 1. They're trying to implement 1.
They just did it, yeah. They just did
another thing too. AoE 2 is kind of cheating now, because like, why are the Romans in AoE 2? Like, I just like that. That's a big gap.
I mean, the Huns were there. Like,
true, which is weird. I think AoE 2.
AoE 2 would put anything and anyone in there. I'm surprised they don't have like a Polynesian civ somehow in there. I'm
surprised the U.S. military of 2023 is here.
Where's USA in H2? Can't be the best game.
That's now we're talking about Civ.
Okay, now we're all over the place. Okay, let me back on track. But all I'm saying is, like, I hear you saying, Bill. Like, but I think if AoE 5 was to come out, I think it would have to stay around the Middle Ages. Because I mean, I think they tried that with AoE 3.
It is like the brands.
The brand is now medieval swords and shields.
Medieval.
Yeah, which is like. But I think AoE 5. I mean, I think we had to do a little bit of what Socerton said. Like,
I can't imagine what an AoE 5 would be. I think they need to. AoE 4 is such a good like foundation to build off of. They need to add more single player campaigns.
Yep.
They need to add more co-op campaigns.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a level where you can bring people into the game.
I do think like that galactic. We keep going back to this, but that Galactic Conquest, like that big board game macro, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
that to me would be AoE 5, right? Having like the diplomacy of that, like everyone takes a country, like everyone takes a civ, like in Europe. Maybe they just go for European civs.
But you don't need to do that in AoE 5. You could make that as.
But let's be honest, it wouldn't be. They're not going to make that until it comes to it. It would be AoE 5 would have the same running engine as 4 with this game style, because they're not going to release it in this game. As much as I wish they would, it would wait until age 5.
Yeah, that's
they
like
should.
I think that's like very ambitious for them now, like especially like seeing the numbers. I mean, if you look at it right now,
screaming for a sequel. Like
I'm not either.
Me neither. This would be like 5 years down the road. This would be like 5 years down the road for sure.
Oh, I think it'd be even longer before we
5 years. I was gonna say, like,
I don't think like I mean,
AoE 4. I hope.
I mean, the game's already been out for 2 years now.
4 years.
It was 13 years between AoE 3 and 4. It was 13. AoE 3 came out what 2007, 2005 maybe. Like Age of Empire,
that was a pretty big gap. It was a pretty big gap. Yeah. I could see like a 7-year gap between the games. I could see 7 years between them.
I think RTS is different. I think I'm gonna build on this one. RTS is different. They're
it's
like
a foundation that you build off of.
Yeah. Like because you go through like it's actually very hard to like because now you're splitting the community even more.
That's fair.
Like
that's
Microsoft has realized, like, because like you think AoE 4 players like, bump this game, let's go AoE 5, man. And AoE is gonna be AoE.
So you're telling me that we're all gonna turn into AoE 2 guys?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it, we'll be the exact same.
We're gonna be just like the guys at AoE 2 in like 10 years.
Oh, you playing that trash AoE 5? Oh my god, that game's so broken.
AoE 5 is horrible. AoE 4 is where it's at. You don't know what it's been like. You don't know what it's like out there. We've been through the dark times.
Where we said the game's gonna be way better. We'll still be talking about the game that in its beta phase. Like, you can't even pick colors. So like what? Like, you know how long it's been? But I'm telling you, like, I just think that, like, I mean, I think Microsoft has got to just lay in the bed they made. They got to support AoE 4. That's what they like. They're keeping a consistent base with AoE 2. But just like Harris said in his video, AoE 2 is just hitting. It's pretty much hit its ceiling.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell that. I mean, even though the player base is great and it's healthy, there's not really much room for advancement. That's why the latest DLC is Rome. If Rome, you know how huge Rome is, why are you just now including it? Like,
well, no, that is a throwback to AoE 1.
Yeah. Like, but now they got it.
It's a bid for the Vietnamese player base.
At this point, AoE 2 can do nothing but jump the shark. Like, it is as good as it's gonna get. Like they are in their renaissance right now. Like right now, AoE 2 has never been better, and I don't know that it can get any better. But I do think Age 4. I like what Beale kind of says too. Like some of our ideas that I was joking could be in Age 5. Like if they did put that in this game, like in a year or two from now, and just like gave us like a platinum edition of Age 4 with like just some way cool new game modes, some more like ways to play this game. Oh, I mean, because they've done some game modes. Like they got the
AoE
Empire
4
Wars.
Edition.
There we go. I mean, they've got the Empire Wars. There's a couple different like scenarios that people have come up with. But again, the modding for those, making those scenarios is so freaking tough. And I'm not a coder, so I can't make any of these. But if they could just implement better game ideas themselves to make this fresh, have more ways to play, I think that would draw more people to it. Especially if you did repackage it as a Diamond Edition or something, or whatever, you know.
You know, this right here, us having this conversation, it shows you that we got AoE 4 just stretch his legs. Just chill out, let it just keep doing its thing, because that shows you how much potential are in the game. Like the game is
provided they support it though. I mean, provided they actually add more skins, they do those things.
And I believe I hear that a lot too about if they support it. As long as AoE 2 is being supported, so will 4 and so will 3. Like I don't think Microsoft views it as like, oh, AoE 2 makes more money, so let's just worry about this. AoE is like an umbrella, and Xbox is a break off of Microsoft, which is a huge billion-dollar corporation, and they want their foot in every single genre. You know, like that's why they're huge. They're trying to get in the Japanese scene because Xbox don't sell anything in Japan. They want their foot in every single genre, and there is no Age of Empire is their RTS baby. And not even Halo Wars. Like Age of Empire is their RTS baby.
Yeah, Halo Wars.
And
Halo Wars not a thing anymore.
Halo Wars, yeah, it's not really a thing. You know, like I mean, Age of Empire still has tournaments, still has a huge fan base. People enjoy the game 2, 4, 3, whatever it is. They still love. There'd be no reason for unless Microsoft closes. They close Xbox. As long as Xbox exists, there will be Age of Empire. Because why would they just leave that scene altogether when there really is? I mean, and their competitor, they're trying to acquire Activision, who owns StarCraft. So they were like, I mean, they're trying to break into, I mean, that's not why, obviously, but like they're trying to they want to expand on their RTS foothold rather than just abandon it because Microsoft, they operate off loss all the time. Like they have a lot of money. Like, I mean, they have that's the thing about Microsoft and Sony. Like Sony has to be more critical with their thinking because they don't have freaking a dark black hole of pocket money. They just which Microsoft, of course they want to see promise in the future, but they have a lot of money to expend. Mm-hmm. So like everybody thinking that, AoE 4 is going to just abandon in the wind. Like, no, like when I saw the layoffs for Relics, it's unfortunate, but like
that doesn't affect AoE at all. That was exactly. that affects company heroes more than AoE.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, yeah. So like, you know, as long as I kind of view Microsoft, I think Microsoft views Age of Empire as an umbrella as a whole. They don't sit there and be like, well, they don't have these civil war in the boardrooms. Like, well, AoE 2 is better, so we support that more. AoE 4 is their future. And there is
an argument to have to be had. I mean, they do have like an infinite war chest. That's true, but they only have so many developers, and there is a split. I'd be curious to see the split number of how many work hours are being put into each game. I'd hope that Age 4 is getting a bit more than. I don't think Age 2 needs much more at this point, so I'd hope that more is going to Age 4.
I mean, you also got to realize too. Yeah, now that is a question to bring up. When are going to be the time windows of these updates? That's true. They're going to get it, but who knows how long? Because you also remember too, there's also an Age of Mythology being made. So they got another Age of Empire game on the release too that had a fan base. So like, there really are.
AOM is really good.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are big fans of Age of Empire Mythology. Play it too. I mean, it's not. I won't stick with it though because I am more of a middle age type guy. I like the simulation of things that never took place in history.
Dude, we need to I said idea.
Like to build minotaurs that just ragdoll enemy spearmen across the map.
I will slay them all.
Exactly. Like that's kind of cool. That's dope. See Thor. I don't know. Is it Thor? Is Thor an Age of Mythology?
Oh, he should be.
That's pretty dope.
You can call down lightning with one of his powers.
That's great.
So that's dope. Like that's dope.
Kill a random enemy unit. Yeah,
we need to get together and make some YouTube videos of us playing some of these weird off games. Like we'd like buying and playing the old Warhammer game, trying some of these other weird games.
If you want to get a video,
comparing them to AoE 4 and what we think.
1v1v1.
Exactly.
Brood War.
I do think we should do that sometime. We should do that for Empire Wars, especially. I think at some point we should try that out.
We got a YouTube channel. We can start uploading gameplay. I'm down. I'm not the busiest guy ever. So I'm
Beale
good.
And I over here I
work. Other than that,
I'm ready to break up with my girlfriend for Age of Empire.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. She'll understand. They'll understand.
She doesn't know.
You don't know what it's like.
You like red fairs, but I like
exactly. But yeah, so I think kind of I could probably hit the head on that nail. But yeah, that's kind of my outtake on how I think things should be ran in the future.
Well, very good. Shall we take a quick break, guys, and then maybe we'll do the second half of the second probably quarter of our episode coming up here?
Okay, yeah.
Sounds good.
Do you suffer from your opponent booming with too many villages that you feel your economy just can't keep up? Do you like a good feudal age fight instead of waiting 10 minutes each game to play in castle age? Perhaps archers are giving you grief, or you're tired of that long line of traders. Maybe siege engines are wearing you down. Hello, I'm Professor Lancelot here at the Royal Knight Institute, and I want to tell you about www.moreknights.com. We here at moreknights.com have worked extensively to fix these very issues and are proud to share the solution. We've worked with experts across the equestrian warfare spectrum to bring you the latest in cavalry solutions. Our approach is quite simple. First, select a stables. Second, spam the W key on your computer. Third, receive your knights in as little as 35 seconds and enjoy battlefield domination. So from the brilliant minds of the Royal Knight Institute, I urge you to visit www.moreknights.com today and bring your domination to the AoE 4 ladder right now. www.moreknights.com is not liable for any damages incurred by running your knights into spearmen, archer pilings, or other hazards such as town center fire, boiling oil, and cannon emplacements. Moreknights.com is also not liable for rage quitting opponents, games ending faster, or when reaching Platinum 1 inevitably goes to your head. All knights should be handled with care. Visit www.moreknights.com for more details.
And we're back. We were just chatting about Crusader Kings and kind of on lieu with what we were talking about with like that grand strategy element. But
oh yeah,
I don't want this to go too much terribly longer. I do want to take one short break again sometime before we do our extra sheeps. I just want to see if there was anything maybe we can just kind of reflect how we like the season and how things have been going so far. I've tried Abbasid a little bit this season so far. I've got a basic build order going on. They play different, very different than I'm used to. I think
the Warriors are pretty great.
They are. I had actually a really good game against, I was on the pit. I was playing French. I think Jones or Askeladd, I think it might have been Jones, was kind of coaching me as I was going through this. And I was getting rushed by, what was I playing against French, I think? Is that what I said? Yeah, I think this French player, or maybe it was English, was coming in with a lot of knights and archers. They actually took down my second TC, but I held with the Ghoulems. I got to Castle Age, started going out for the Ghoulems, destroyed their proxy base, and pushed them all the way back. I think they were French. And I was like, this is fun, man. That was the best hold I've had in a while, where I actually held off the push, turned things around. The pendulum swung super hard. I've tried out Abbasid. I'm not great with them yet. I think Jones mentioned this, but it'd be kind of nice if you could be ranked based off of what, like, your rank could be. Each civilization, you have your own rank. That's different.
Well, I do know they did that in StarCraft, but there was only 3 civs.
Yeah,
it's very different, isn't it?
Which is different. Yeah, it'd be hard to do it for 8.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Expanding out of that.
Well, not to mention that the maps, like you choose your civ after you see what map you're jumping in on. So
right,
it'd be super hard. But I do kind of wish, because I was like, I think I'm a gold 1 with Abbasid. Like, I think I can say that. Like, I'm probably like gold 1, gold 2 with Abbasid. Like, obviously I'm not a silver player, but like I'm still learning how to play them. But whereas like with English or like HRE, I'm like sitting at plat 1, almost plat 2. So
I think season 5 is pretty nice. I mean, there's been a lot of complaints about technical issues behind the scenes about games dropping and stuff.
Yeah, which I heard a lot about that.
Yeah, I really haven't, because I started off, I was going pretty hard, and then I realized my internet was a hamster on wheels. So I had to get my internet fixed. So I've been playing just skirmish games. But one thing, I am a fan of the new feudal Mongols.
Feudal Mongols is now a thing.
I like them. But think about it, though. I think people who don't really play them, I didn't realize that they have a huge drop off after.
Yeah. Oh no. People thought they're going to be overpowered, but they're not.
They're not nice.
They're very
nice.
Well balanced.
Yeah, they're
way less HP, way less ranged armor.
Yeah. They're
in a good spot. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good for feudal raids, and they kind of give a Mongols a reason to not rush the castle. A lot of Mongols play in the past, people just hurry up and kind of skip. The only build order I knew with the Mongols, or air quote knew, was them hurrying up and getting past feudal age. Kind of just harass a little bit in feudal and get the castle to get all that gold income and get lancers on you. But like now, like Mongols kind of stick around in feudal a lot more because those Keshiks are really good in feudal, especially harassing. And their lifesteal is very good, but I don't believe it's overpowered. Like you can still kill them. Like
no,
you said, the micros Keshiks, like they and like in
a couple of spears just.
They clean right through them, erase them, they're done. And like I said, like in their balance because they do have a drop off point. Like Mongols are not as good in castles as they were before. Mongols are like they're more of like a aggressive feudal civilization now. They're not that they're still good in castle, but you don't have knights, and that's actually kind of like a big. That's like lancers. That's like a big disadvantage in any like game that go like when you get to castle age. Like lancers and knights are so strong. If you don't have them, like you're at a big disadvantage when it comes down to cavalry. And like I'm having fun playing the Mongols. If I have not took them on rank play yet, which is kind of breaking my heart. I kind of try them out.
Guys, I have an idea to finish our episode here. I'm on the Reddit page right now for Age of Empires 4.
Oh yeah, okay.
I kind of want to go through some posts and weigh in on some thoughts and some things. The first one is it was incredibly enticing. If you guys want to do this impromptu segment, I just was thinking this would be really funny.
I'm with it. Sure.
Since we're having kind of an offbeat episode, this one is posted by user Tarbarin Therid 616 9 hours ago. It says, "I have to confess my sins." Mm-hmm. So let's weigh in. How simple it is. Can we absolve him of his sins, or what does he need to do? What does he need to do to absolve himself here? I went AFK during a 2v2 and left my teammate defend for himself. If you're on this subreddit, I am deeply sorry. I had no choice and thought I could make it back within a few minutes. A few minutes?
Oh, that's really AFK.
What? I mean, he thought he could make it back in a few minutes, but this guy just like left him.
Oh, listen, guys, this really hits me hard in a really personal spot because I have also struggled with this. And I'm sorry. Listen, so
that's why I play 1v1s.
That's why, first of all, I play 1v1, especially on random queue. But so really quick, so I used to play the game a lot. When I played Team Games Heavy, it was with my brother. And my brother at the time was working from home. And I'm gonna make sure I get a timestamp so you can hear this, so I can let him know how upset I used to be with him. So he's a work from home, and he used to play the game, team games, like in between, like while he was on his shift. Like he would be like in a work meeting, and he would play the game. He would all the time start up a game with me, and now midway through, I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" AFK completely be in his work meeting, and I'll be like, "Dude." Dude, he'd come back like, "Oh, my fault, dude. I had to talk in this work meeting." It'd be like 5 minutes later. I'm like, "Dude, the game's over. You see my base? I'm done." He said, "Oh, my fault. I don't have enough time." I think people gotta realize that this game is not like Call of Duty. Like you, if you have to be strapped in from the
you gotta lock in.
Yeah, you gotta lock in.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious is this man's sins?
It's a 10 for me. Okay?
What does he need to do to redeem himself? Is the question. How can he absolve himself of this?
Okay,
he can join a Discord and actually know who he's playing.
There we go. He can join the Griot Bar Discord.
Yeah,
if he joins the Griot Bar, he's relieved of all his sins. There you go. You join the Griot Bar, you're relieved of all. Join the
Griot Bar, and then we'll absolve all the sins. There we go.
Until then, right now, I don't know, man. What's going on, dude?
That one just really caught me. I thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
Let's see. I'm just gonna scroll through and see if I can find some other ones. There were a couple of funny ones I really wanted to get to.
But yeah, that's our one.
Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting one. Anyone else find it? This is from a user, Flaccid Father 15. Wow, what a name!
What a name! What a name! What a name!
Does anyone else find it difficult to revisit old AOEs after playing this one? I'm a casual player who enjoys mostly PvE, and I love the campaign Art of Wars challenges in this game so much that it made me want to revisit other RTSs. Played through Halo Wars, that was fun. Then wanted to play through AOE 2 and all the DLCs because I won't own it. But man, after playing on AOE 4 and even Halo Wars, Age of Empires 2 seems like it just hasn't aged as well as everyone else says it has. I just cannot find my groove with it. Main issues I'm running through with are hotkey differences for the most part. I'm not very good at these games. And also units being clunky and unresponsive. Wondering if anyone else has suggestions as to mods for hotkeys, or maybe just other RTS campaigns that are more modern like 4's. I really wish 4 would just get a scenario builder and more single player content. Apologies, it's not perfect, etc., etc.
He should be on the podcast today.
He should be on the podcast. Yeah, very adequate, right? Very, very apt.
Well, I want to say I was the opposite of this guy when AoE 4 was released. Because I played it and was like, oh, I'm going back to old AoEs.
Honestly, if I go back to Age of Empires 2, I would be going back for the campaigns, actually. That's what I like the most about Age 2 is I'm a much more of a PvE kind of guy.
I wish Blizzard didn't mess up Warcraft 3. Because that is still, to me, the best RTS campaign ever.
See, man, we had one day, man, we had a little side discussion. You gotta put me on, dude, because I'm down to I can talk for hours. I gotta relax. But yeah, like what you're just saying though, I believe that AoE 4 is just the new golden standard, and people gotta just come up and hang out. Listen, I mean, I try going back to AoE 2 every now and then, and it's the games. Of course, it's good, filled content, but it just feels it feels dated. Like that's my thing. It just feels a little dated and. Like, it just, obviously it's got its dedicated fan base. But, like, if you want to move the needle, you're going to have a hard time, I think, doing it if you just stay in that bubble of games. Yeah. That you have to eventually break out and try the new stuff. And if you have problems with it and you address it to the right forums, then, you have to make peace with your game being dated. The game is being dated. People say let's get mods or do this or that. I mean, the game is just old. It's just like simple as that. I don't know. If people want to do all these like this, they got some master coder at Microsoft that's gonna like flip everything around. Where it's like, not really. It's like
how it works. Yeah,
it's not how it works. It's like the game has its foundation, and you can build as much as you can based off it, but you can't do a whole 180 with the game.
That's why we have Age of Empires 3 and 4.
Exactly. That's like, I mean, if you really look at it, Age of Empires 4 is just what they want. It's the upgraded version of 2. Like, I mean, yes, it's not the exact same game. A lot of things are different. But, like, it's the same time period. A lot of things are still in common with both games. Like, Age of Empires 2 and 3 are way different.
Yeah, they're pretty different. They're about as different as 1 and 2 feel like as well.
Way different. Yeah, and, like, 2 and 4 are obviously different through time gap. But same time period, the same the same formula, make vills, get your economy together. Like, it's still the same formula. That's why they're the most compared. But AoE 4 is the modern version of 2.
Here's another post I've got.
Let's hear it.
This one was 12 hours ago by, I'm going to say this wrong, but it's Ziccor, Xiccor. He comes in asking, do you guys think they will ever redo the tech tree? Which sounds kind of strange at first, but he goes on to say, I think it's generally understood that the tech tree is one of the weaker parts of AoE 4, and surely the developers know as well. I think one reason that should warrant a redesign is that that tech tree is one of the ways to teach players about the game. And so it is very much in their interest to have a good tech tree for players to look at and to learn from.
Okay. So when I read this, I thought they meant like
redo the text for a second.
Yeah, what text?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's why I like AoE 4, because I don't have to remember this Civ doesn't get like Castle Age or Imperial Age Knights. Or they don't get this final upgrade from the blacksmith. It
sounds like this guy's talking about just the image of how to look at all the text.
Right.
Which, okay.
But it is nice in AoE 4 knowing that every Civ gets all the blacksmith upgrades. Every Civ can upgrade their light cav, heavy cav, light infantry, heavy infantry, light bows, heavy bows, all the way to Imperial. That's not the issue. It's not like, who gets arbalests, who doesn't? Who gets cavaliers, who gets paladins, who doesn't?
So you meant just like interface? You probably think you meant just the user interface to be
I think the poster here is more just concerned with how that information is relayed to them.
Okay, I can probably agree with that. Maybe, I don't know how I would change it, but maybe make it so it's more updated and more easy. Like,
right now, I'm thinking about making a intro to AoE 4 video of just
that would be that. I thought about that.
If you want to collaborate on that at all, let me know.
Here's what the Dark Age
I thought doing the same thing. Yeah.
Now you hit feudal. Okay. you've unlocked, you got spears, horses, and archers. Here's what the feudal age military triangle looks like. Here's what you're going to do in feudal age. Are you going all in? Are you going 2TC? Are you going fast castle? Okay. Here's what castle age looks like.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like that'd be a great video for somebody like this. That's where idea you coming from. Like somebody who like
those videos that usually do that get so long though. Is the tricky part.
Yeah, like Age of Noob, like that's a price to watch when I first started.
But you gotta like, it's like taking a college course, you know. Like you gotta sit down and give the time for it.
So hard. It's like, and he does like really heavy editing. Age of Noob, he does something similar to that, where like he'll like kind of break the game down a little bit. And if man, it looks like a lot of work.
He got demonetized on YouTube. You guys hear
I heard. Yeah, I heard so. That's why he doesn't make any videos like for a long time. So
that's not great. Not great for the community. He's been such a staple.
He's good. Just Age of Empire in general, he's been good. Like 2 for anything, but like he was really good at editing. He made it really easy to understand. I still look back at his little top 50 tips. But I see what you're saying, Bill. Like, yeah, it's you honestly, man, I'll watch that video. If you made a little tutorial, I'll watch it for sure. I'll pull up to show support.
Little intro to
exactly. Yeah,
right,
how the game works.
One more.
I got one more post, and this one I might share my screen with you guys, and we might dive into this one here, so you guys can see it. Let me actually do that real quick, so you guys can see here. This one, the title is: Did I get cheated out or outplayed? Is the question. So we're gonna find out. I think this will be fun.
Okay.
All right, here's my screen for you guys. Here's a graph. He's got a graph here. Did I get cheated or outplayed? So this is by Cohesion. Is the player here, and looks like
what happened here? What happened here?
Looks like around the 18-minute mark, someone just blows up to 100 units, like balloons up. Now these guys never go above.
I was just gonna say, like, what is Yggdrasil's civ? Is it Malians?
Yeah,
is that
kidding.
Just a Parimba pumping out?
It's gotta be. Yeah, we need details on this. This is insane.
Total unit count. He only gets up to like 170 around 20 minutes.
It's not crazy. Like everybody else stays 50 or under.
His villager count's really low. I'm thinking he is Malian, so my guess. Look at his villager count. Super duper low.
Yeah,
what's his eco count though? His eco count's pretty low too.
Total resources.
So he went all out on military.
60 right there.
Sorry. Yeah, fast people who are listening. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got. I'll take pictures of these. Post these along with the
build count is still like solid.
It's at 60 or so. It's not bad.
If Yggdrasil was Malians, that makes sense.
The first comment says out macroed.
It's not even 50 villagers. 100, but yeah,
but it says he's got it was Roos, 30 Roos fishing boats. Is what someone's saying. Oh no! Now he's saying he didn't have 30 fish. Shows he did it. There's a lot of debate on Reddit about this.
Yeah,
fishing boats count as 2 pop as he goes.
I gotta see the replay.
Count. Yeah, let's see the replay. I see the replay. In fact,
you see what that one guy said at the very end? He said,
"That's right."
He said best to assume cheated, so you don't have to spend time
improving."
Oh man,
got him.
Oh, but it's a team game too. Like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to tell.
It's hard to quantify during a team.
Maybe his team funneled him resources. That's possible. What kind of cheating would that even be? There's only map packs. You can't make units out of thin air. This guy has solid macro, is what someone says. And then people saying, watch the replay. Yeah. I would guess in a team game, he's probably the guy in the middle, right? Would be my guess. Yeah. He probably is playing a civ that has either really good access to water or he got like all the relics. I mean, if this was HRE, I could see HRE doing this in Castle with all the relics just going bing, 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 you know?
Yeah. When does he hit Castle?
It's Castle
right around, like 11,
12 minutes. This is totally normal. He can easily shoot up to that. He's hitting this peak of 100, 90 units around 20 minutes in, then just kind of stays there.
Yeah, this guy is fine. Everybody else sucks.
Yeah, I think he's just really good. I think he's clearly playing a quick match.
I mean, his military count's at nothing until he decides to start building after 12 minutes. 13 minutes is when he finally starts building military. Looks like Orange Cohesion was building some military, trying to hold things off, but couldn't do much. It looks like they were all just playing. I mean, 10 minutes. Look at their their military numbers. It's like nothing. They were all booming. I'd love to see what map this was.
Hey, Bill, you can agree with me on this. That's why I play 1v1.
That's why I play 1v1.
This is why 1v1 is superior. Like, what is happening on the screen? That is insane.
Gotta love just the fun.
Gotta love it.
I think I'm gonna add a segment every week where I might curate some Reddit posts and we can weigh in on some of these.
Don't
Guerrilla Warfare, who to play. Me and some friends just thought the game and I wanted to run a horse archer army, Mongols. Let's see a look. What I gather, a little of my experience, the horse archers in this game are awful. So who would be the best guerrilla warfare civilization to play? I don't think this guy understands what guerrilla warfare really is, first of all.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I guess.
Malians, I have the stealth.
Yeah, stealth.
Technically,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
guerrilla warfare. I was thinking like more like laying traps and like surprising the enemy.
That's top comment too is Molly because you can enter stealth and do bonus damage.
Yeah, most definitely Molly. But see, it's crazy to see how some community play this game way differently. They just like want to have fun and like do guerrilla warfare scenarios.
What
that's why.
What is the? Oh, this is a fun question here. We'll end with this one. We'll end with this one. What is this? Is a little poll. I'll whatever we all decide with, I'll vote for. Got 17 hours left in this poll. So if you guys are listening, it's 674 votes. So what is the most fun part of the game right now? What aspect of the multiplayer do you enjoy most? Macro, micro, multitasking, coming up with strategies, playing with friends, or something else?
I would say macro.
Macro,
yeah, booming.
Because
it's so fun. Macro, I love my HRE like 7.5 minute fast castle. I love that. That's so fun for me.
Because let's be honest, who really comes up with?
And the results actually aren't too crazy. Playing with friends, 245. If I had friends, that I'd be maybe more.
Exactly. Yeah, if I had friends.
No, actually, I do like that. That one is a lot of fun. Coming up with strategies is number 2 with 170 votes, and then macro with 123 at number 3 of those. It looks like people hate micro.
I feel like coming up with strategies flooded. I feel like everybody just copies build orders. That's one thing about this game I realized. A lot of people just, listen, you see BCQ do one thing and then you see it all
everywhere. Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, dude, we know where you got that from. Like, I've kind of become a rebel of that now. I don't rewatch build orders anymore because that's how you play. You just do that build order. And that makes the game not as satisfying. You're just literally like trying to follow a script. I know I'm way off topic, but I see people saying come up with strategies, a favorite thing. But
it's when none of us are good enough to come up with strategy, guys. Like my best idea of a strategy was like to have the Mongols make a bunch of pastures and send the sheep to like a French player.
No, that's pretty good. The
sheep Grubhub strat.
That. Mine was schizophrenia. I think
dude, that's not a strategy. That's just broken. That is OP.
That's probably my best strategy. Or I tried making like a proxy Mongol base, which didn't even work out that well. I tried to do I try every now and then, but that's usually my strategy come into panic.
I know there's a lot of hate towards the idea of trickle down economics, but when it comes to strategies in this game, that's kind of the way it has to work, I think.
Pretty much. I have to agree.
All right. Well, should we take one quick break and then come back with our extra sheeps and call it a day?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Hey, Socerton here for the break. This is the part of the show where I spout off a lot of random things to you, the viewer, in particular. Basically, I hope you guys are having, as I've said, a happy 4th of July weekend. You're probably listening to this afterwards. If you're a European, listen to this. You really don't give a flying crap. But, you can support us Americans that are happy we broke away from England Day. That's a worthy cause, right? I guess so. Anyways. Oh, hi. My baby just woke up next to me right now as I'm recording this. Yeah. She's just looking for her pacifier. There it is. Anyways, wanted to do some kind of some housekeeping things. Oh, I know, little one. I know. She's cooing too. Babies are cute, guys. A lot of work, but cute. Anyways, some housekeeping, as I was going to say. We were going to have a guest on this show that did fall through. I know it's like the number one requested thing that you guys ask for is please get some cool streamers on the show. We are working on it. I promise you we are trying. Sir Nevels has been reaching out. We've had a couple of candidates that we want to get on. It just didn't quite work out today with one of them. So we're hopefully next episode we will have that down and we'll have someone to interview. Besides that, I looked into getting some merchandise for the show. I can do it. The problem is it's like hecka expensive. So mugs are kind of off the table. I think I'm going to try and get some shirts going. I still have no idea how I would go about like selling these. I could get some for me, Beale, and like Nevels easily. If anyone else is interested in that, maybe reach out on the Discord for this show. I've got my own personal Discord. The link's in the description. You can find us there. If you want to hit us up there and tell me if you're interested. If you want a shirt really bad, we can maybe work something out. Maybe it'll just be kind of a, you pay for the shirt and I just send it to you kind of thing. I don't know. Because I don't know if we're going to get any profit off of the shirts. Custom ink costs a lot of money. Everything costs a lot of money. But I want to get some nice merch for this at least. I know I want a shirt with the logo on it. I just got to do some work on that. That's something I've been working on, though. Another big thing I wanted to announce. I know there's been the other most requested thing for this podcast is that we get this thing on YouTube. I am pleased to announce that as of this week, I kept my oath, mostly that I gave last episode, that I would get these episodes up. And this week I've gotten 2 of the 10 now episodes are on YouTube. I am trying to get the rest of them on there. So I will have links to that as well in the description. I will also be posting that on Reddit saying, hey, we're on YouTube. You'll probably see that up there if you browse that a lot. But yeah, we're getting these on YouTube. If you're already listening to this podcast, you probably don't care. But I just wanted to follow through that I've kept my word. I've done it. I, Socerton, Eagle Scout, have done my duty to do my best to do a good turn daily. There you go. Anyways, what else do I need to say? Oh yeah, you guys should follow Sir Nevels on Twitch and YouTube, and Beale and myself if you haven't. I don't usually plug myself in there, but I do play. I play this and AoE and a lot of baseball. Those are my 2 games I do. You also should join the Griabara Discord if you have not already. Lots of great discussions there. Lots of places you can hop in for channels for team games. It's a great place. You should do it. It's free. It's great. Fun community there. Also, speaking of free things, if you want to join a tournament, the Rising Empires is always doing weekly tournaments for low-level players and for players who are way above my caliber. So you guys should definitely look into that. It's free. It's fun. Those guys host have a good thing going. It's quite a long Saturday if you do it. I won't lie. It's quite a couple hours. But if you haven't done it, I recommend everyone at least try it once. At least once. It's a lot of fun. I think that's about it. Shout out to my little baby, who's just being very calm and cute down there. She's doing a good job. And I guess I'll send you guys on back. Thank you so much all for listening and for staying with us this long. This is our 10th episode. We've gone for 20 weeks now. Beale and I were kind of just thinking about that. Like it's been a long time. We can't believe we've gone on this long. But we're planning on staying strong and keeping the content going. If you guys are really happy with the content, you've been a long time listener, you've really enjoyed all the shows we've put on, we do have a Patreon. We would urge you to take a look at the link that's in the description of this episode. And if you want to even just donate just $1 a day, or not $1 a day, $1 a month, even the smallest of pledge, we do have bonus content on there. We kind of chat. Sir Nevels, Beale, and I tend to kind of chat before our official recording starts. And I've got my audio just rolling. And so I'll take that big snippet in the beginning and I'll just pop that in the Patreon. And we talk about a couple of variety of things. Some kind of fun behind the scenes of what we do. Anyways, I have gone on enough. This episode's already long enough. Have a happy rest of your episode and rest of your day. Happy scouting, and back to the show. And we're back. Let's do our extra sheeps and close out this day. And I'm going to go get ready for some fireworks in a day here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's coming up. I can't believe it's like actually the 3rd of July already.
Oh, tomorrow. Let's get it.
Tomorrow's the day. Yeah. Well, today, if you're listening, the day we release this, but
oh yeah, you're right.
Again.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah,
they shouldn't be. Where did I put my
auxiliary? Put an auxiliary cord at the barbecue.
Take over the speakers. Just play our
speakers. Your family about
exactly. Yeah, get them all in. Get them all.
I just want to say, if you're listening this far in and you've been listening for like since the beginning, I just want to say, you're a freaking nerd. I mean, gosh, I can't believe we're actually. I mean, but who's worse? Dude, the one listening to a podcast like this, or the ones making the podcast? We're all such nerds, dude.
No, but I love beautiful, the beautiful community, though.
We love you guys. We love you guys. Just want to say, we just want to acknowledge how nerdy this is.
I love it. Love it.
I will start.
I'll be nerds me in.
I'll start with my extra sheep. I had a match. I finally got to play on Volcanic Island. I chose French. I wasn't sure who I wanted to play on Volcanic Island. Went with French on a 1v1. My opponent chose China. Let me just say, guys, I tilted pretty hard on this one. Usually I'm pretty mellow and I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. This one got under my skin a little bit. Things started out. I tried playing a little bit of feudal aggression. Wasn't really getting much out of it. He was going the 2TC song. I was like, crap. Okay. I decided to castle up fast and go for a fast castle instead. So I kind of back off my feudal aggression. Got a couple of Ville kills, but not enough to do much. He started making a military though. I made him make a military in response. So I was okay. At least the 2T song, he's getting tempered at least by having to make a ton, and I mean a ton of spears. So I go into Castle Age, and I eventually add a second TC. I build a castle, get the reduced price for my Arbitrier and my knights. I start going heavy into that. I swoop into the other side. He builds the stone wall, the Great Gate. Well, he ends up building the Great Gate House, whatever that landmark's called. The thing that's stupid. I came in the other side and I like slammed into him on the left side. He was the gate house was on the right side of the map. He's on the north. I'm on the south. I head over to the left side, so the west side of the map, and I start shredding through this guy. I kill all the vills on his farms, tons on the wood. I start torching down his keeps, his landmarks. I got all the landmarks gone, but that gatehouse, which had a keep on either side of it as well.
That thing is so strong.
My rams, and then the thing is, he was going for a like a Juganu, and he was going heavy spears for a long time. Heavy spears, a couple of horsemen every now and then, and pretty heavy on the jugs. So I went, mass archers, mass knights. www.moreknights.com. It was great. I was actually doing some pretty okay stuff. Took me a while to get my my siege kind of going, so I got some rams. Was trying to get him down and finish him off. I thought I'd killed. Like he went like 3TC song. Like I don't know. I just wasn't playing smart, I guess. I might have been. He ended up going 3. It was 2 TCs when I was taking him down, but he built another TC in front of the gatehouse. We had it walled off on the right side, so I couldn't get through. Had a bunch of keeps on that side. Apparently he just was printing villagers, and I just wasn't keeping up. But I actually got him down to like around my level of villagers again. I didn't realize that he had so many in front of his gatehouse. I was like, where are they at? I can't find them. I pittered out, and then he went Fire Lancers. In fact, that's how he got me. That's how he stopped me, actually. He started making Fire Lancers, and since the update, they are far more effective in combat. Like, we're talking way more useful in combat than they used to be. He was taking even trades with my beefed up Royal Bloodline Knights. And I eventually, I never got them to be quite Imperial Age Knights, because, I mean, I had the Royal Bloodlines, but I couldn't get the Imperial Age upgrade, because it took me a while to get to Imperial, because he started just constantly going at me with Fire Lancers. So I start building some keeps, build a red palace, trying to hold him off. I should have walled in with stone walls, but I couldn't, because he was doing like that keep creep, on the right side from the gatehouse, while he was kind of rebalancing his eco and coming back. And I ended up just throwing everything. In fact, I tried massing up rams and doing the mass ram push to get him out of there. I figured rams and knights, that would be my way to go, because he wasn't making spears anymore. He was going all Fire Lancers. And I tried making some spears of my own, but that's such an off build for French to go into spears. Like massively so, like really awkward.
What are you doing at that point?
Yeah, what am I doing? Exactly, right? Like I really, so I'm trying to keep up. I was trying to mix in some spears because I just had to, because those Fire Lancers were nuts. He ended up taking me down. He actually Fire Lancers into freaking rams, melts them. And I mean melts rams.
Oh yeah.
I did not know this, but they melt rams. Fire Lancers don't do as much to buildings, but eventually he just had such a mass of them. He was able to he actually trebbed up at that point and got some trebs going. And at that point, I'm like, good gravy. He's got an answer to everything. Like, I could not get anything going. I built a bunch of siege. He just Fire Lances in and destroys it all. I could not siege down his keeps. And he just held, and then eventually just ground me in the dirt. And I was so frustrated. And I just realized that China is just a stupid civilization. I should not be able, I was mostly mad that I had torched down all of his landmarks but one. But when he's got 8 landmarks, what else am I supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. They're
very frustrating. I feel like I think that having the extra landmarks is just it's just too much, It gives China an edge that is so tough. And the fact that he can just keep drop in an instant, like China's got so much going for them. And they're not an OP civ. Like, I get that they're not like abjectly broken, but I feel like as far as a balance of a game, it just felt incredibly, and maybe I'm just kind of whining a bit, but it felt kind of unfair that I had played well enough. He beat me in feudal a little bit, but I decided to quickly revert in fast castle. And then I had found some success and I like crashed into his side and like really was torching his base. But the fact that I had to go for 8 landmarks, not 4, was what did me in. And I got 7 of the 8. And I just was like, that's just so frustrating. And so that's my extra sheep. Is I am on board with 10-4 Tim and Asklad's hate of China. I like playing as them, but in instances like that, it's just like, it just feels really cheap to lose that way, you know, like that just, I don't know. Anyways, that's my gripe. That's my salt. That's my extra sheep. It's a very sad little black extra sheep. That's just, you know, a little outcast. I'd like to see some black sheep in the game. That'd be kind of fun.
Remember, Sock, we want to do something like that similar when we played our team game. We were going against China and English, and we were destroying them, and then he almost ended the game by just going mass
Fire Lancers. It's such a stupid strat.
It's a very, you know what I'm saying, emergency button strat.
It's so dumb that like they're losing and then they can just do that on the side and then just send the wave in and be like, haha. That isn't fun to me.
It's rough, but you know, I think coach don't let China get that late.
Yeah, I guess that's the trick, huh?
Yeah, like I think, like I said, like a lot of people don't like China, and like I lose them all the time. They are a difficult civ.
Well, it's kind of the problem with closed maps too, like Volcanic Island. What can you do? You know?
Well, that map itself is just garbage. I was just playing, but like I said, that's kind of like what I like kind of about the aspects of the game. Like different civs have different like breakout points, and like China's one of those games. Like the longer they play, they just start the halt. Like. It was
really frustrating. I know any other civ that would have been a win because I had him in Castle Age. Like that was my Castle Age push. He was trying to age up. I had him, but that Great Wall Gatehouse just.
I think it's strong too. China's a strong.
It's so strong.
It's not a joke.
Alrighty, someone have a happier extra sheep than mine. Mine was kind of a wine fest. So
I wouldn't quite say. Oh, let's hear it, Bill.
Say my extra sheep. Made diamond last season.
Yo!
Ooh. Got up to diamond 1. We'll see if that happens this season.
I'm confident it will.
A lot of Ottoman abuse getting there. But made it to diamond.
That's big. That's not easy.
Okay. Nah, dude, that's good. That's actually my goal this season.
My goal is just to get plat 2.
Oh, you can do it, man. You can do it.
I just don't play it consistently enough.
Dude, you can play plat.
Last season, I was just hovering between plat 2 and 3 forever. Until I actually like just sat down and had good winning streak that brought me to diamond.
Yeah. I think once you start hitting like plat 2, like it's kind of hard to drop back down to like plat 3.
It keeps every time I do my placement matches, it drops me into like gold 1. Like I'm playing against. Right now, my experience is smashing into silver players. Like I either smash into a silver player or I get a plat 2 guy. I'm vacillating back and forth right now. I don't know what my matchmaking is doing right now, but it is all over the place.
Oh yeah, because I think that with hidden MMR, right, Bill? They have that like where like wherever you were last season, you'll start playing more of those guys. This
season. It carries over. Yeah,
it carries over. Because like I mean, dude, last season I literally was silver 2. My placement games. I was I was done for it. I lost all my placement games. Like, what is going on? Why is everybody so good?
Yeah, I was like silver 3 going into this.
Yeah. 4. But I'd say this right now I am currently, but it's kind of a little gassed up because I haven't played. So sad. I feel like a fraud, but I haven't played in a minute because of my internet. But I'm platinum 1. I can platinum 2. And I think I'm gonna start sticking to. I'm gonna start streaming my games too, and I'm gonna go. I think I make diamond. My goal is diamond.
I wish I had the will to do that. I'm so tired right now in my life with the baby at home.
It is a lot.
So hard.
It is a lot. It's a grind, man. Like in the purest form. Like it is. It takes a lot of mental.
When I grow up, I hope I get to be as good of a player as Beale is.
Oh yeah, man. Beale is our resident hero. We're like, dude, you're so cool. You've reached it?
Diamond 1.
Hey, dude, listen. Hey,
it's easy to say when you're up there, Beale. It's easy to say.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, good for you, dude. All right, yeah.
He's already got his eye on Conqueror now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just looking nothing but up. Even though he is a dirty Ottoman.
Get back to Diamond.
Oh, yeah, you can get back. You can get back. I'm telling you, boys, mark my words. I'm hitting Diamond for the end of the season.
Do it.
I'm hitting it, boys. Am I the last extra sheet?
Yep, I think it's you.
Okay, mine's more so like nothing in game because I haven't played in a minute. But one thing I will say is that I do believe that this community can strive better if we just like kind of like not just on a hippie commune, but like kind of like hold hands, kumbaya, because that's a big ask, but I think we realize that we gotta realize that we play in an echo chamber. That if you say something, you're going to hear everyone kind of agree with it and they're going to blow it out of proportion. Like, for example, this season has been played a lot with drop games. Like a lot of people hear about people dropping games and they go to these forums. And also, I think my last show was just get off the forums. But they go to these forums and they complain about what they're going through. And it makes it seem like everyone's going through it. And like how I look at it, like for example, they have AOE surveys that go around, and yeah, I'm that guy. I will fill the survey out, and I'll just be 100% giving honest feedback to the people that it matters. And I feel like when you get into these forums, you start saying like, oh yeah, somebody else going through drop games and bad frame rate, and you're gonna hear that one guy like, yeah, actually I am going through that. Yeah, this game's trash. It's like. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like, do you want the game to prosper or do you want it to die? And like, you really want
let it die. Sorry, it just reminded me of the Lorax.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say like, you saying let it die. I'm like,
I know.
Let it. I was
some of those guys on there, it feels like they're ready to sing that song though, doesn't it?
Exactly. I was like, I thought you turned to the drunk Uncle Soccer thing, like, let it die. Who cares anymore?
I want Age Empires 5.
I want Empire 5. Let this thing die. But yeah, you're right though, man. Like it becomes very confusing to the community. And think about it, like we make jokes all the time on here about like, of course, at the end of the day, it's just a video game, but obviously we had a whole dedicated podcast going hours talking about it. We want the game to do well, and it's very obvious that it's a very community driven game. And the one thing we will compliment, we joke around about it, past Age of Empire games, they have a very strong community and they just want the game to get better, and they're not slandering it in public. And they're like, so like we had to like kind of use it as an example. If we want this game to prosper and play and get more updates and faster updates, the developers have to be motivated to do that. And if we're sitting up here just bashing the game, then it's not going to seem like a priority. Obviously it's things behind the scenes, but the point I'm trying to make is that draw your complaints in the right direction. I don't see the point of like just want to have an open discussion about nothing no one in a forum chat can fix. Yeah. Just making the game look like it's in a way worse state than it is. And you got people that don't play the game and just assume most games are obviously still bad. And then boom, you got blockades for the future of this great game.
That's a good point. I think there's a fine line between being like giving good feedback to help improve the game and being critical for the sake of being critical.
Constructive criticism is really where it should be, instead of just criticism like that, because now you got nothing to back it up. Now you're just talking. It's hot air. But yeah, that's my extra sheet. Sorry, I have nothing gameplay wise because this internet. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sad, but I'll be good tomorrow though. I'm good. I'm up and kicking again.
Good. I'm excited to see some peeps. Well, I don't know if I'm going to play. I'll probably log in just to get the little banner award for the 4th of July. I doubt I'll play much tomorrow. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Look at that, Bill. He's a Battle Pass player already. Dude. I'm logging in just for reward.
Gotta get those player numbers up, right?
He's already biting it, dude. He's already ready for the Battle Pass.
I'm such a pleb, aren't I? Alrighty, guys. Well, we've been going on for my clock says it's been 2 hours and 42 minutes. Obviously, some of that's extra content that we chatted at the beginning. But just a reminder, we do have a Patreon. We do have a Discord. We do have a couple of places you can reach us. I was going to tell you guys, I did look at trying to get some merch for this. It's expensive as heck. It is expensive as heck. It's like $40 a mug, and you got to have like I think. Yeah, it's like nuts. All right, maybe not for the mug. Or actually, it might have been like, especially if you do like a small order of like 6, you have to like buy like 1,000 mugs to make it like worth the price. But I highly doubt I'd be able to sell 1,000 mugs. So maybe we'll look at t-shirts.
I'll buy 5.
You'll buy 5? I don't have the money for it.
Every color scheme, I'll get it.
But I do think I'll try and get t-shirts going. I think that will be an easier sell to get some t-shirts going. So be on the lookout for that. Besides that, I got nothing else. Anything else for you guys?
No, sir.
No, I'm good.
All right, well, happy scouting, everyone. Happy 4th of July. Happy Canada Day. Happy summer. We will be back in. We will hopefully have our guest star on next time. He kind of bailed out on us this week. I'm not going to name who was trying to bail out on us, but we had someone we had lined up. Hopefully we'll have someone for next time instead. So till then, we will peace out and have a good rest of our days. Have a good one, guys.
Au revoir.
See ya.